unsanctioned Monday edition of Senning Show. I am John Senning. My friend over there is Dizzy. Thanks for being here. You want to participate in the program, 800-771-1025. Hit us up on social media at The John Senning, at Dizzy for Mayor. The video is live, theboneonline.com, the Bone YouTube, and the Bone Facebook if you want to watch the program. Man, what a freaking whirlwind debacle of a weekend it was, my guy. I don't even really know where to begin.
Well, begin with Monday, where you thought you had initially.
Yeah, I guess I will take it all the way back. That's probably a good idea. So Monday, I was in a floaty in the pool. I flipped backwards, and I just, at the time, didn't think that it was a thing, really. I just knew that I got some water in my ear. So I had kind of been just feeling this feeling all week long. And then Thursday, when I got home, it was not a bad thing, but it just was this weird kind of feeling in my ear. So I started going down a rabbit hole on Google of like 17 things to do to get water out of your ear. So I'm blowing, I'm doing the blow thing out of my nose. I'm doing the thing where you suction your ear. And my final strategy was to lay on a heating pad. So I fell asleep on a heating pad, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and things had got drastically worse.
Okay.
Like I could not hear. Like that was really the first thing I noticed. I woke up, could not hear, and that was Friday morning. So Friday, I go to the urgent care thinking that this is going to be something they're going to give me a quick fix for, and everything's going to be all right. She was like, it looks like there's a little bit of an infection, but we can't really see because there might be a blockage of some sort in there. So they aggressively irrigated my ear, where they took this, what looked like a Windex bottle, and filled it full of water and tried to get whatever was in there out. Nothing came out. Nothing happened. I came here and I did the show on Friday in not the greatest of shape. I couldn't hear out of my ear at all. It was just bad. And then when I left here, surprisingly, I felt like it was clearing up a little bit. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting back in the groove. Friday night is upon us. Maybe I'll have a couple cocktails, and we're going to be healed heading off into the weekend. That is not what took place. That is not what took place at all. Friday night, things started getting just worse slowly, to the point to where, I mean, I would honestly take any other illness or anything I've ever dealt with than what has been going on here. Like, I would take the flu, I would take COVID, I would take anything I've ever experienced, because just the pressure in my entire head was so strong on Friday night. And by Friday night, late night, I would think that I was clinically deaf. Like, Danielle's like sign languaging to me. Like,
it was that bad?
She couldn't, like, she comes into the room and says something, and like, I can't hear. Like,
I didn't know it was that bad.
Friday night, I'm done. Like, yeah. I'm like 6, 7 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I can't hear. My life's over. Just let me rest. So I go to bed early on Friday night, and I wake up a couple times in the middle of the night, and I know that things are just bad. Like, I know things are escalating. The pain is now in my neck. It's in my face. It's just bad. It's to the point where, like, I can touch my cheek, and I'm feeling like my cheek is full of fluid. Like, I'm feeling like my cheeks are like full of stuff. And I'm like, what the hell? So
did you like try to look in, like open your mouth and like see if there's anything on the inside of your gums or anything? Not really. I mean, I could tell that it was all coming like from my neck and so this lymph node in the back of my right ear. And then it should be noted again, I have this long-standing thing in my left ear where I'm essentially at this point in my life deaf in my left ear from a childhood condition that I had that just was terrible. It's called a cholesteatoma, and I went through that when I was younger. So obviously that exacerbates the entire situation because of that. So Saturday morning comes, and I wake up, and I'm like, I can barely lift my head. I can barely move my neck from left to right. So I call my doctor, Dr. Brent, and I tell him, I'm like, what do you think's going on? He's like, dude, you may want to think about going to the ER. He's like, but let me get you on some antibiotics. Let me get you on some steroids, see if we can get you feeling better. Danielle, from the second I wake up on Saturday morning, my wife, she's like, we got to go to the ER. And I'm just, my opinion on the ER is like, what are they going to do for me? You know what I mean? I already know generally what's going on, and I just feel like there's nothing they're going to be able to do for me. You just feel like going to the ER is an expensive way of going to urgent care again.
Well,
it's just the same thing, but you're paying more now.
And that's the thing and I will say, I'm going to get to why this was wrong, why I'm wrong in what I'm about to say. But it's also it's always a mess, dude. Like every time I've ever been to an ER, and it's not tons of times in my life, but you wait 4 or 5 hours. You eventually see somebody who doesn't really know what they're talking about. I'll just spoiler alert, that is not what happened here.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's Saturday morning. I'm not trying to spend all day in the ER. I'm Googling all of the different ERs. They've got 2-star reviews on Google. There's reviews from the day before that said I waited for 6 hours and had to leave at some of the ERs. So finally, it's just not getting better. It's getting worse as the morning is going on. And I end up finding the Orlando Bayfront. It's here.
Okay.
But it is here. It's here, but they have it in a standalone emergency room on Gandy. So it's an emergency room that's affiliated with the hospital, but it's not at the hospital.
I know. I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's honestly right by Wawa and all that.
Yeah. So I have to say, the Orlando Bayfront process, I did not know that it could be so smooth and it could be so good, because we walked in the door and I
sign in on that computer.
No, there was 2 ladies sitting right there. We walked right up, and I will tell you, I was in a room within 5 minutes. And the doctor came in within 10 minutes. And immediately the doctor came and looked at my ear and was like, dude, because the problem is you can't look in the ear. The ear was so bad that you can't look in it. It's closed. Yeah. It's completely closed. So he's like, and knowing what's up with the left ear, he's like, we got to get you in for a CT scan, and with all the swelling on my face and neck. Did you take
photos of that?
Yeah, I do. I do have a couple pictures that I will show you. Yeah. So immediately within 30 minutes, I'm in for a CT scan, which is crazy to me. And
did this scare you because they were speeding through this so fast, or were you just thinking, I'm so glad I'm getting seen so fast?
There was an immediate level of acceptance of the serious nature of it, just based on their response. In my head, I'm like, okay, let's go through these motions. They're going to tell me the same thing that I think they're going to tell me. I already have the antibiotics and the ear drops, and they're going to say, go home.
Yeah.
And I could tell immediately that was not the general tone. There was a little more concern than I expected. And then after the CT scan, we waited, and immediately they put me on they put me on an IV antibiotic immediately. And
which started helping, you think?
No, at that point, not yet. There's no relief or anything at this point. And the doctor comes back after a while with the CT results, and he goes, I hate to tell you this. He goes, but it's such a mess in there. It's so swollen. There's so much fluid. There's so much inflammation. We can't see anything on this on the CT scan. Jeez. And he goes, our concern is at this point that this, and based with what's going on with your neck and your face, that this infection is spread to your bone, which is called the mastoid bone that's in your neck in the back of your ear. And he goes, since you're deaf in your left ear, we can't really, there's no room to play here. He goes, so I want to get you an MRI, and you need to be on, IV antibiotics and steroids for at least the next 24 hours. So we're going to admit you. And I will just say this, my whole entire life, I've been under the impression, like I said, I've been to the emergency room for certain things. I can't tell you the last thing I was there for, but just always under the impression they're not admitting you into the hospital to stay the night unless you're dying.
Yeah.
So he's like, we'd like to admit you. Well, for me at that moment, it was like a debate. I was like, I don't know.
It was a debate for you?
Well, it was.
After hearing all they said, it's like, we're worried about it spreading and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You were like, we'll see.
Well, the thing is it just, looking back on it, it was wrong for it to be a debate. But I think it was just also, I was in shock over the deal.
Yeah.
I did not think them saying you need to stay at the hospital was on the table at all. So I called my mom. Who else do you call? She was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Of course. Yes, you have to go. Of course you've got to go. And eventually I called the doctor back in. I'm like, is this, are we being cautious here? I'm like, do I have a decision? He goes, there's no decision to be made here. He was like, you got to go.
You cannot do it, but I would not recommend it because it'll F you up.
Yeah, he was just like, you're deaf in one ear. He goes, I couldn't give you a percentage, but there's a chance that there's an infection eating away at your bones and potentially working its way into your brain. And you want to take that risk?
He's basically saying this is not what you roll the dice on.
Yeah.
You go in.
Yeah. So that decision came pretty quickly. And the next thing was the craziest part. And maybe I was a little reckless in my social media posting on Saturday. But it was so insane to me that I just felt the need to document it. So he says, well, the thing is, when we admit people, since you're not at the hospital and you're on an IV, you need to go by ambulance.
So that's what I wanted to get cleared up. Because when you the photo I saw on social media, I was like, why is he in the back of that? He went to the thing. So that makes a lot more sense now.
So he's like, they really sell you. Because I said, I would rather drive. I said, I can, let us drive over there. He goes, well, the problem is if you drive over there, you've got to recheck in. You're going to go through a whole process. We have to unhook the IV, which you shouldn't be unhooked from right now. He said, so they're going to come get you. Also, a nice little touch, which everybody always talks about how expensive an ambulance ride is.
That's my next question.
Because they are the hospital, they don't charge you for the ambulance ride.
Awesome. I'd be like, well, let's go. Yeah. Joyride shotgun.
Exactly. So I will say, I've made it to almost 40 years in this world with never having been in an ambulance.
Yeah.
So it was so crazy, too, because I just felt.
And you were strapped down.
Yeah. And I thought, I told the people when they got there, I'm like, I can walk. My legs are good. I'm okay. Let me walk. And she's like, it's protocol. You're going to be in the back of the ambulance. We've got to put you in here. So then they start strapping me in, much like you said, Hannibal Lecter style.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this necessary? She goes, well, these are your seatbelts. So it can be a bumpy ride. This is necessary. So they take me over to Orlando Bayfront Hospital, and
no sirens though, right?
No, I did ask. I said, can you turn on the lights? They said, absolutely not. And they took me over to Orlando Bayfront, and I gotta say, dude, I did not know that a hospital experience could be so efficient and so quick and so unbelievable. So I think this. What I wanted to,
especially on the weekend, you would assume this sounds weird, but the best doctors are on the weekdays, right?
Yeah. let me make sure. Was this the name of it? Oh no, did I get the name of the section wrong? Hold on, I may be getting. Oh man, I think I got the name wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's essentially a spin-off of the emergency room where you're not up in a room, but these rooms are an extension of the emergency room, and it's for people to stay up to 48 hours where they can be monitored and stuff like that. And I gotta say, dude, they roll me in there. I'm in the room for less than a minute, and there are two doctors in there. You just wait. There's a lot of waiting in situations like this. So they roll me in there, and immediately there are two doctors. And again, the tone is just not what you want to hear. There was an absolute level of concern. So the two doctors come in. Eventually, the nurse comes right back, and she's like, hey, they want to get you on 5 different antibiotics via IV, and I'm going to start injecting you with these steroids. And I tell them, I told one of the nurse practitioners, I said, I haven't said this yet, but I am dying. I said, I am in such pain. She goes, oh, we know you're in pain. She goes, the morphine's on the way. So within just a little bit, they hook me up with morphine, which I have to say, you ever had morphine?
Yes.
Jesus, man.
It's awesome.
Dude, it is it's something else, dude. I mean, I was that blew my mind. I mean,
you're on cloud 9 when you hit that stuff.
And the thing is that it's so instantaneous. Not the longest lasting drug in the world.
Yeah.
But when she put that in there, I mean, it hits you right in your solar plexus and just reverberates through your whole entire body. And it was instant relief. And it was funny because the lady said, she goes, I know you're feeling good. She goes, I know the sign when someone's feeling good because their tongue's hanging out of their mouth. And she was like, your tongue is hanging out right now. So I get the morphine. They start. Dude, one of the greatest gifts. It really. I was so bummed out on my way over to the hospital. I just couldn't believe that it was going on. And they were so good right when I got there that it just automatically kind of made me feel better. And, dude, right after the morphine hit, dude, it was dinner delivery time.
Oh.
And this lady brought in a platter of lasagna. And it was lasagna. It was amazing, dude. I had been secretly craving lasagna, which is the craziest thing. It was lasagna with mixed veggies and an apple pie. And then she brought me graham crackers and peanut butter. And it just, in that moment,
it's pretty nice.
High as hell on morphine. I just was like, okay, I'm going to be able to make this work for the night. So I was on a regimen of morphine every 4 hours. They were giving me Percocet every 2 hours. So I was good. And that, that's probably why you saw the abundance of bizarre posting on social media, which is so funny because I don't know. You said something to me right when I walked in today, and I don't understand what I did, because I do understand that it seemed like I was posing a question. Is that that's what you're saying?
It was basically like, what do you think I'm here for? It was like, you know, when you see a post and it's like, who is this? Wrong answers only. That's what it felt like. Like, hey, I'm in for this. What do you think it is?
So I did know that I was posting something that people would be able to respond to. Like I did,
Yes.
I knew that.
It was a question post, yeah.
But yeah, so it was I knew that there would be interaction, which I was fine with. I didn't know that it was coming off as, or it was framed as. And I'm looking at it right now. I posted the picture in the ambulance, which Dan, my wife, immediately was like, what the hell is wrong with you? She's like, I've got family members calling me. They think you're dead. They think you've been in a car accident. Like, what the hell is going on? So at that point, I thought I was getting ahead of it a little bit with the potential for interaction. And I just posted, I am alive. Hopefully no brain-eating amoeba. Admitted at Bayfront for test and MRI. Morphine rocks. And then I could tell immediately I was missing something in translation, because all of the responses I was getting was people just guessing what I was in for.
That was all you posted?
Yeah.
I felt like it was something different. That's weird.
Yeah, no, the initial post was what I just read.
In the question box, that's what you typed.
Yes.
Didn't know that? No.
Yeah, so I could tell people were guessing what I was in for, and it ended up being very funny. And so the thing was too is that Danielle, of course, wanted to be there the entire time. And my whole thing was, I'm just laying here. I'm in pain. I cannot hear. So it wasn't that I didn't want her there.
You didn't want her to be uncomfortable, because you're this sounds weird. You don't need her to just sit down next
nor
to you.
she doesn't want either. And, we got Brody. And I said to her, I said, I would much rather you spend the day at home with Brody. I'm going to be laying here doing nothing. I can't hear. I'm in pain. I'm miserable. Like, I'll be fine. I've got they got a TV. I had my iPad. I was fine. And so she... As soon as they told me they were admitting me, she left the urgent clinic, and then she ended up coming up a little bit later in the night, and brought me some clothes and some snacks and stuff like that. And then I think it was like around. There is a period of time in the hospital that is it feels like the most
unaccounted for.
The most bizarre fever dream that I can even, like, it's so weird thinking about it, because it is like an outer body experience. Because I'm getting the morphine and I'm getting the Percocets, and then they came in and they were like, hey, do you have any issues with claustrophobia? And I was like, well, I don't like the idea. I've never had an MRI before. So they're like, it's a very small little tube that you're going to be in. Do you have any issues with claustrophobia? And I was like, well, if I tell you I do, are you going to give me something that's going to chill me out? And they're like, yes, if you say you're worried about it, then we're going to give you an Ativan. And I'm like, okay, I'm worried about it. So
really worried.
Yeah. So they pretty much tell me, like, anytime throughout the night, like, they can come get you for the MRI.
Yeah.
So I don't know what time it was. It was later into the evening, maybe 10, maybe 11. She came in. She's like, okay, I just got a 5-minute warning. We're going to give you this Ativan. So they give me the Ativan, and then at some point, this dude, which I have to say, I was trying to actually look up some of the names of the people that I dealt with at the hospital, because they were so effing amazing. Like, they were just, dude, nurses in general. Like, I'm just sitting there in awe of these people whose job it is to take care of people so closely. When you get people that, like, really care about people and are just so sweet and nice. I know the first lady that was my main nurse was Christine or Christina, and I feel terrible for not knowing exactly. And then my overnight nurse, her name was Kamoy. And it's always weird, because, like, I don't know if everybody's like this, but when someone's treating you good, they have to leave for the shift change, and it's almost like sad. It's like, it's going so well. I feel so taken care of. Like, I'm afraid the next person is going to hate me or just not be as good. That was not the case. I can say the third nurse that it came in, I was so gone. I have no recollection of her name at all, and I feel terrible for it. But so they take me for this MRI, and the dude, keep in mind, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And I get in this room, and he goes, hey man, I want to show you some things. He goes, to see, if you can handle these pictures that I'm going to show you, you're going to be able to. This sounds like it's a dream, but he goes, you're going to be able, if you can handle these pictures, you're going to be able to handle this MRI. And I'm like, this is like one of the last things I remember. He starts bringing up pictures of these two little kittens that he has fighting on his computer. And he's like, oh, yeah, these are my kittens. And at this point, I probably think I'm hallucinating.
That happened.
And he goes, yeah, I'm just. And then we sit and watch videos of his kittens for an extended period of time. And he goes, how you feeling? And I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on right now. He was like, okay, that's good. He goes, so that means you're ready for the MRI, which a lot of people have had MRIs. They're freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
And this one, because they had to get so deep into my bones and my brain and stuff, I don't know what he said. He's like, we got to get in these slices in your ear and stuff. So it's going to take a longer time. So it's over an hour that you're in this little freaking tube. And when they do your head and brain, they put this, I don't know what to explain it other than a mask, but it's not a mask at all. It's like a hard, think of like a material like this almost.
Yeah.
But it's going like across your face in like cross sections, and it's like locked onto your head. So you've got that right around your head. And then you're also in a tube where you have like maybe 6 inches to a foot of clearance over your whole body. So you're like in a coffin, and then you have this mask right over your face.
Oh, yeah, and they put this stuff to make sure you stay still.
And it's like real snug on your head. Yeah. So it honestly feels like I was hallucinating because, dude, the noises that an MRI machine makes, I don't even know what's going on. Where it's like, it'll be like,
yeah,
like,
It sounds like a fax machine at times.
It's so weird. And I'm wondering, is this really what's going on? So I'm in this machine for over an hour. And it was so funny because right before I left for the MRI, I told the nurse, the Kamoy, who was so sweet, I said, I am starving. I said, but I do not feel like it's right to eat before I go to this thing. I said, is there anything that I could be able to eat when I get back? She goes, oh yeah, I'll get you a turkey sandwich. Okay. So I come back from the MRI essentially tripping balls. Like I'm on Ativan, I'm on morphine, I'm on Percocets, and I come back and she's got my turkey sandwich and I just start inhaling it. And she's like, "You want me to get you another turkey sandwich?"
And you're like,
I'm like, yeah. So by the time she comes back 5 seconds later, the first turkey sandwich is gone, and she's like, "Damn, you really were hungry." So that night I ate my turkey sandwiches. I had my iPad. I watched some Detroiters.
Nice.
And I was snuggled up. That night of sleep was probably, although I ended up being woken up at like 4:30 because they got to come in and like get your
blood.
They got to take your vitals and stuff. So I was passed out for a good 4.5 hours. And then finally they came in and I don't remember what happened after that. So it starts getting to be later into the day yesterday. And we're essentially waiting for the specialist, for the ENT doctor to give me the results of the MRI. Well, before that happens, the other doctor that I saw, I believe his name was Dr. Perez. He's like the internal medicine doctor who works the floor. And he comes in and he was like, this scared. I will tell you, this was the scariest part of the day. And spoiler alert, I don't have all of the answers on what's going on, and I'm not out of the woods yet. But he came in and he was like, dude, I hate to tell you this, but the MRI is a lot like the CT. He goes, things are so inflamed and so crazy in there. There's a lot that we can't see, but they write notes like on the imaging and on the whatever the hell on the report. And it said, risk of infection spread to the bone, risk of, in if you remember, the thing I had when I was a child was called cholesteatoma that took my hearing in my left ear. They said risk of cholesteatoma. Ooh. So at this point, I'm like in meltdown mode. Yeah. I'm like, and he even said to me, he goes, well, the good news is the ENT is going to be here. If there's, if we need to do surgery today, if we need to do surgery, like you're in the right place, all that. So I'm just like, I can't believe it. I'm thinking the MRI was going to say it's an infection, not that bad. At least that's what I was hoping for. So there's a couple more hours there where at this point I'm just sitting with the fact that maybe I'm getting surgery, maybe I'm staying another night. I don't really know. So the ENT eventually comes in and was a bit more optimistic. It just said the long and short of it is he said the same thing. There are things happening behind your eardrum that we cannot see, and these things are possible. But I believe that if you had what it's called mastoiditis, which is where it spreads to the bone, he goes, I think if you were deep into that, you'd have a fever right now. Okay. There'd be more going on. He said
there'd be more signs of that. Yeah. Okay.
So pretty much, but he also said, I can't get in your ear. You still at this point, as of yesterday, I can't see it. The ear's completely shut. So, dude, they did this thing that out of all of this, when it comes to uncomfort, this was probably the most uncomfortable thing. So my ear is like a pinhole at this point, and he has to put what they call a wick down in my ear, which serves two purposes. One is to get the medicine into your ear, because if you tried to put like eardrops into my ear, it wouldn't go in because the hole's shut. So they take a wick and they soak it in medicine and then literally jam it all the way down into your ear.
Ooh.
Which was terrible. The worst, most painful part of it all. So I had that in, and I told him, I said, because he said, I need you to keep this in. Yeah, it was funny because he kept referring to it as a tampon for your ear, which
it kind of looks like one now that I see it.
He was like, yeah, it's like a little tampon. So I had that, I put the tampon in my ear, and he's like, yeah, I need you to leave this in until you come and see me later this week. And I told him, because if I couldn't hear already, I really couldn't hear with this thing in my ear. Like it's fully filling your ear. So so he puts that thing in, and I told him, I said, I'm trying to go back to work tomorrow. I said, I'm not going to be able to go on the radio with this thing in my ear, so I'm going to have to try to take it out. He's like, well, we don't really like for people to take it out because it's way down in there. He goes, but if you're going to take it out, your wife's going to have to do it. She's going to have to get some tweezers and get down in there and pull it out. So shout out to Danielle, who got in there and pulled this damn thing.
How long did that take?
Not that long. I mean, I could tell initially she was a little concerned because she opened my ear and she was like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's good. So she ended up pulling it out.
She's an 80s baby. She's played Operation.
Yeah, exactly. It was very Operation.
Yeah.
Good call. So I will say this, I felt a lot better leaving physically and with the swelling and the hearing, even though I had the thing in my ear. I felt better yesterday than I do today, which I hope is not a terrible sign. So the final note from the doctor was, we're sending you home with heavy duty antibiotics. And keep in mind, I've been on 5 or 6 different IV antibiotics and steroids for days. So we're sending you home with more heavy duty antibiotics, more steroids, more anti-inflammatory, more Percocet. Nice. And we're hoping that we can get the inflammation down enough to be able to get in there and see what's really going on is the ultimate goal, to get in there. And I called this morning and I'm like, hey dude, it's worse today. Like things are worse today. So rather than waiting till Wednesday, I'm going tomorrow to my ENT that I've seen before out in Brandon. And I mean, the hope is that they can get in there and whatever is in there. There's obviously stuff going on in there. And I know from what I have to get done to my left ear, they've got a little vacuum that they can get in there and suck me good with.
Yeah.
So hope and pray that the infection is not spreading, is not moving into the bones or the brain, which they're just not sure of yet. And they can suck this stuff out of there, and then that will open up my ear, allow for the medicine to get in even more, and then hopefully tomorrow will be a true turning point of the whole thing.
Man, I gotta be honest. 2025 has been rough for you, dog. I feel so bad for you, bro.
It's funny. You're like the second or third person to say that to me, and I think it's a good thing that I don't feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there has been things that have happened.
It's been a rough start.
Yeah. I mean, specifically, with everything we've gone through with Brody, and I mean, I think I went down. I think I did kind of forgot it until I heard you say it. I did have the flu at some point this year.
Yeah.
Early on, and yeah, I don't carry that. Like, it doesn't feel like it's been a rough year. Like, to me, I would say it's been a great year. Like, it just feels professionally and overall things have been good.
Just the medical scares, it's been rough.
Yeah, which,
because Brody's been in and out.
The Brody stuff weighs on me every day.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Now you have your own medical stuff that you're in and out of.
And that was the thing too, is like, I forget what it was. I think it was Thursday night. I think it was Thursday night, or no, Friday night, whatever night it was, whatever night I already wasn't feeling well, maybe it was Thursday. Brody was like not settling, and it's like the middle of the night, and he's like pawing at me to go out and stuff, and all I'm thinking is like, I'm always worried that like today's the day. I hate to say it, but I'm just worried that like any day it's going to go sideways with him. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, if things start going bad with him while I'm in the hospital or while I'm just out of it, that would be the worst case scenario. And he's essentially fine right now, but there's been a bunch of stuff. There's absolutely been a bunch of stuff. And again, I don't feel it. I don't like walk around thinking, oh damn, this year sucks. It feels good in a lot of ways. But yeah, right now we're just I don't know if it's worth an apology or not, but I definitely freaked out some people in my family. My mom called me and was like, your family members are calling me about a picture you posted inside an ambulance. At that moment, I was just so in shock that I was in an ambulance that I was like, took a picture and posted it. Probably could have used a little more context.
But like, if you're taking a photo from an ambulance, chances are you're not in the worst position because you have time to post to social media.
Exactly. That's the.
But old Aunt Karen or whoever you have in your family
that's what it
doesn't
was.
Think that way, and she's like, my baby, my little nephew is hurting.
Yeah, and
what's the matter?
It was actually Aunt Joyce.
Aunt Joyce.
If you wanted a specific, it was Aunt Joyce who I think rang the alarm. That was very scared. And I have to say, pretty much everybody from the bone and on has been reaching out and checking on me. I've been just overwhelmed with the concern. People on social media. people that work here from Mike Calta and everybody on that show reached out to Johnny B, and JoJo has been, very motherly, checking in.
Yeah.
Lisa and Saya. Just honestly, I could list every person pretty much that I know. Thank you for, and that was the thing too, is my whole thing Saturday morning was, what do I got to do to get myself to a place where I can make it out to the Cava Social Club? Like, that was my whole thing was, well, maybe if I go to the emergency room, they're going to be able to do something that's going to flip me around real quick, and I can turn around and make it out to the Cava Social Club. And we're going to talk about what I understand was an amazing night. We're going to talk about that at 2. And thank you for stepping up in every single possible way as far as your presence there, because Bodie and Sarah at the Cava Social Club are amazing, and I hated sending that text. I waited because I was waiting, and then as soon as they told me I was going to get admitted, I hit up Bodie, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. And of course, he's just like, are you kidding me? Like, they're just the best people.
And that's one of the things, and we'll touch on this more too when we talk about it, is everyone who knew you weren't there and the reasoning, they knew it had to be something serious, because they knew you're not the type to be like, I'm going to be there and not show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's just one of those where I just love them so much. I knew it was a big deal for them, this anniversary party, and I wanted to be there to celebrate and show my support, which obviously did not happen. But thank you to you and everybody. Hopefully this is wrapping up. Hopefully tomorrow morning they do something, and they're now going to have all of this new information, and hopefully the end of this saga is coming in the next couple days, and by the weekend I'll be feeling much better. But just a shocking turn of events. I think that was the biggest thing, is especially like from the second that I was told, like, we're admitting you into the hospital, through the ambulance ride, I think until I got that first shot of morphine, I was just kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is really what's happening here.
Let's play How Does This End? You're going to get sucked off tomorrow by the doctors.
Please.
Real good sucking off. They're going to figure out, because they're going to see it's cleared up, and they're going to go, okay, now we know we only need to do these injections, stick them in there, and it's all going to deflame, and John Senning's going to be back to normal.
Yeah, and to all the people that I didn't reach back out to, I do apologize. Everybody, my phone was just blowing up, and I realize that's part of my own fault for posting ambiguous pictures from from an ambulance. I tried to put out some other stuff to let people know that I wasn't on my deathbed or anything.
Yeah, you were posting photos and be like, I'm with the Lord now.
Yeah, well, that was, dude, I have to say, man, you find yourself with a TV and you just realize the weird things that are out there, dude. The amount of time that I spent watching like HSN and QVC, just like these bizarre things on TV, that religious channel I watched a bit yesterday morning, mostly because, so there was, I don't even know what it was. There were 2 crosses above them, but the way that it was, the camera was cut, it was a church service, and all behind them it just said TIT. And when you're dosed up on morphine, that's pretty funny. And thank you to everybody. I'm gonna be fine. I believe that. If I'm not, you'll be the first to know. But thank you. And it's 3 hours. There's people out there digging ditches. Everybody's like, why aren't you at home? Why aren't you at home? And I again, morbid, sad. I know that one day, there's going to be more stuff with Brody. I know, I'd like to have leisure time at some point. And JP said it. We're 6 months into this show barely, and I want to be here every chance I get to be. So I'm well enough to be here. That's going to be the end of this conversation. When we come back, we've got some stuff to dig into for that thing. Kids had the last day of school, which sometimes I just like to sit and ponder the thought of what the last day of school was like, because I do not believe there is an adult equivalent of the emotion of the last day of school. We'll see if we can come up with one, and I got to touch on a little vroom vroom, because I did make it home in time last night to watch the race in Nashville, and I got some funny audio to play as well. Thank you again to everybody for all of your kind words. Everything's going to be okay, and we're going to move on with a regular program starting shortly. There has never been a better time than now to go solar with Solar Bear. The average Solar Bear customer is saving over $2,000 per year by switching to solar. Solar Bear is a local company that's been in business for over 10 years and served over 10,000 satisfied customers with a 4.7-star Google rating with over 1,300 reviews. That's how they got to be the #1 solar installer in the state of Florida. And it is crazy when you start actually understanding what can happen by going solar. Because right now, you can sign up and your first 12 months are going to be completely free. So that means your electric bill is going to go way down, and you're also not going to have any payments to the solar company, which is amazing. That is right. The first 12 months, no payments. Give them a call today for a free estimate or check them out at solarbear.com. More Senning Show on the way.
Baby, dry congas. I think it's about time we headed home. Walking on this tire with my damn high hopes.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Download the free Bone app to listen to us anywhere. Sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate. Get your guaranteed offer at markspain.com.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now is the time to check your homeowner's insurance and ensure that you're covered before the next storm hits. Italiano Insurance can help give you that peace of mind. Even if your mortgage company doesn't require flood insurance, your home could still be at risk for flood. And now's the time to make sure your family is fully protected. Call 813-877-7799 or visit ItalianoInsurance.com today. Italiano Insurance, serving our community for over 60 years.
Think you're not the suing type, but you weren't at fault. I'm Tampa injury attorney Mo DeWitt. You didn't choose this accident, the bills, or the damage. Don't cover for someone else's mistake. Just call Mo. Injured on the go? Just call Mo.com.
If you've been hurt in an accident, call Bernetti PA. We make it easy. In fact, you can hire us by phone, over the internet, or we'll come to you. Call 1-800-BURNETTI. We're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate the hassle this summer. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Ryan, said, Mark Spain Real Estate exceeded our expectations by helping us achieve significantly over our asking price. We received much more than we ever anticipated, and we cannot recommend Mark Spain Real Estate enough. I've served homeowners like you for nearly 30 years and have helped over 67,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most, a quick sale and maximum profit. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Renewal by Anderson of Tampa, Sarasota is having a 30-year anniversary sale. Buy one, get one 30% off replacement windows and patio doors. Just go to bestwindowsflorida.com. That's bestwindowsflorida.com for Renewal by Anderson.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Experience the summer of music with Neutral and 102.5 The Bone. You could win tickets to some of the biggest shows of the year, including Thomas Rhett, The Weeknd, Jason Aldean, or you could win one of dozens of Neutral prizes like coolers and hats. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Just visit any participating Circle K location in Florida and scan the QR code on the Neutral Summer of Music poster to enter.
Involved in a car accident? We understand the pressure you're under. Call Farah and Farah, Tampa.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You might know nothing, but at least you'll know that thing. Brought to you by Just Call Mo, Tampa's injury attorney. That thing. It's time for That Thing right now on Senning Show.
1, 2, you know what to do.
Welcome back to Senning Show. I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. Hit him up on social media at Dizzy4Mayor. Check out the Lazy Ass Podcast. Download it. Subscribe everywhere you do your thing. Find me at the John Senning. Dude, I mentioned the lasagna.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if this hospital makes better food than every hospital. But so the next morning, I'm like kind of in and out of it. They deliver me my second meal. Eggs, bacon, little Cajun potatoes.
Yeah.
It was so yummy. And then for lunch, dude, pot roast over rice with like every meal I opened the little container and I'm like, this doesn't look and or taste like hospital food. It was quite surprising.
Hospital food you assume is supposed to taste like old airline food, right?
This is how good the hospital food was. It was actually kind of funny. So Danielle showed up some point early on Sunday and she brought me a wrap from one of our favorite places. She brought me a wrap. The second she brought me the wrap, like 2 seconds after she walked in the room, the lady brought the pot roast, and I was like, I'm going to save that wrap for later.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat this pot roast. So again, Orlando Bayfront, I don't know if they're that good all the time, but they were that good over the weekend.
Shout out to the chef that works there.
Yeah, you got a damn fine thing going over there. Wildforkfoods.com. I will say, last night when I got home, as good as all that hospital food was, I was looking forward to a nice home cooked meal. I grilled up myself a big thick cut ribeye. I actually did something very interesting. So they have this mushroom medley. So I took the mushroom medley and I mixed it with their pre-made béarnaise sauce, made a ribeye, poured that all over top, made a sea bass fillet for my wife. I love everything from Wild Fork, from seafoods to all of their cuts of meats, side seasonings, desserts, baked goods, and much more. You can order online and get it delivered right to your front door. You can order online and have it ready to pick up for you in store, or just go shopping. They've got locations in South Tampa, West Chase, in St. Petersburg on 4th Street North. And if you become a member, it's like $1.90 a month. All of your deliveries are free. That's what I do. Check them out online at wildforkfoods.com. I was thinking this morning because I spent just an over-the-top amount of time on social media because I was just I was just there scrolling through social media, and I'm looking at all these kids on their last day of school, and it just made me think about that feeling on the last day of school. Like, do you remember that feeling?
Of course.
Is it easy to say that as a child there are few better things than the last day of school feeling?
Yeah, you're probably right. It's that moment you're together with your friends that you normally never see because whatever reason, just maybe you don't get to hang out with them because of how far they live, and your parents, like mine, don't like to drive you around. So it's that moment where you get that last hangout with them before you might even be going to different schools. Like for middle school, I went to different high schools than a lot of my friends because the districts changed.
Did you have any weird traditions at any of the schools you went to? Because did you go to school you've been to school where? In Canada, in Florida?
Canada was up to, I think, second, third grade,
Okay.
but it was mostly all in Florida. But,
was there any traditions that people did on the last day of school?
No, just because every school I went to was new. Like when I went to elementary school, it started at one school, then they built West Chase Elementary. Then went to middle school at Walker, and they built Davidson Middle School. And then Alonzo was being built at the time, so I went to Alonzo because it was new as high school. So
we had, and it's a lot easier, I think, to have silly traditions and stuff because our town just had two schools, and it was very small. And both schools essentially did the same thing. And looking back on it, it was stupid, but at the time, it was so much fun. And it seemed like people across all ages participated in it. But on the last day of school, almost everybody came to school with cans of shaving cream and Crazy String.
Oh.
And the entire, not just the school areas, the entire town would be covered with with shaving cream and Crazy String. And that was just the thing that on the last day of school, people gathered at the parks and on the playgrounds, and they all just sprayed Crazy String and shaving cream everywhere. And I don't know that there was, and at that point, you just feel like you've got your whole, when you have that last day of school, it feels like the first day of school is a lifetime away. You know what I mean? When you start your summer, you're like, I'm never going back to school. We got months off of school. This is unbelievable. The whole world is at my fingertips. And I'm not sure, outside of probably the day before a long vacation as an adult, that there is an equivalent when it comes to the emotion you feel as a kid on the last day of school, because you just start getting a couple weeks out from school, you start anticipating it, you start thinking about it, and I think we need to find a way to recreate the last day of school vibe for an adult. I just don't know what it would take.
I feel like there's two that I wrote down that kind of came to mind. One would be retirement. When you're retiring, they throw stuff for you.
That's actually a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I would assume that. And then the other one, I think St. Pete Sam is going through is when your job moves you. Because then it's kind of like you're moving on, you're saying your goodbyes, it's not like goodbye forever.
That also feels like, I guess, the end of the school year for some kids at some point, maybe if you're going to a new school, was stressful. And maybe it's I'm just know them enough to know that there's a certain level of stress. It feels like there's more uncertainty, still anticipatory excitement feeling. But when you move as an adult, I think there's also the stress factor of it. I mean, I don't know about you. Most of the time when I was done with school, there was no stress. It was just it's game on. We're playing video games all day long. I'm watching TRL every afternoon. We're swimming. We're eating Hot Pockets. We're eating ham sandwiches with Doritos on it by the pool all day long. It was just nothing but good things. The retirement one, though, that's pretty good. And in real time, it's I'm somewhat close to it because my parents just last week they just
you meant to retire.
No.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I will say we met, and this is the first time we've ever done anything like this. We met with a financial advisor, somebody Danielle set up. We met with her 2 weeks ago, and she's like, "What are some of your goals in life?" And I was like, "Well, I'd like to retire young and travel." And she was like, "Well, we can do that." She's like, if you play your cards right, she's like, you can do that. And I mean,
what is considered young?
Now, sadly, young is what used to be considered normal.
Okay.
So I think young now is anywhere between 50 and 55.
Okay.
So that's considered young, which, it feels like a lifetime away. I still feel very young, but I mean, I'm cruising towards 40, and then we're talking 15 years. So it's not really. But I'm watching my parents in real time. They pretty much started their retirement journey last week. They're hitting the road for this. I've talked about it a little bit, this cross-country trip, and they've been sending me pictures all weekend. Of course, that was a whole other thing is, my parents just hit the road. And
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to enjoy their time. They're worried about poor Johnny.
I felt so bad too because they actually had a family wedding on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
so that was like the day that all this was going on. So I was I'm so big on like. I hate when I find out that there's anything medically going on with them that they don't tell me. I feel like I would have been a bit of a hypocrite if I didn't share what was going on. But I did feel bad. But needless to say, watching them kind of have this whole new portion of their life that is going to be laid back and on the road and traveling, you may be right in the sense of retirement could be the closest thing to your last day of school.
Are they in their 60s, 70s?
They're not that. My dad, I believe, is 65, and my mom, he got a young one. She's 8 years younger than him.
Yeah, my parents, I think, are the exact same difference. My dad's just a little older, but they're still working.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they can one day do what your parents get to do, just retire and just enjoy life.
And I think that was up in the, it was kind of up in the air until it wasn't. My dad, over the past 10 years has started talking about it more. And I think it was kind of up in the air. He worked as a carpenter up in Michigan for my whole childhood.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
That's nice. That was Jesus' job.
So, there's a union factor that comes into that. I don't understand all the finer points of it, but they were able to retire within the last year. And, they're out there on the open road, which feels a lot like the last day of school. Little note here, we are giving away $1,000 in about 7 minutes. You do not want to miss that. And I've got tickets to Metallica all week, and I was sitting and debating what we should do with these tickets. What kind of, I will say, the man is known for a good idea. Mike Olivero had an idea for like a blow out your eardrums contest for Metallica tickets, which I don't know what that would entail. We are going to do this under the do nothing chump rules. You will have to do nothing. I am going to give both of these pairs out. I've got a pair for Friday and a pair for Sunday. I will be giving them both away within the next 2 days. And all that's going to have to happen, I'm going to block out the phone lines, and I'm just going to announce it during a commercial break. And in honor of Metallica, caller number 1. As soon as I unblock the phone lines, the first caller who makes it through, you just got to be listening during the commercial breaks today and tomorrow specifically. You're going to get the tickets. It's going to be that easy. Caller number 1. So do not leave during the commercial breaks because I'm just going to pop on, call now, I'll unclear the lines, and the first caller through is going to win. So that's a pair for Friday and for Sunday. And then we've got the $1,000 coming up in about 5 minutes. And then keep in mind, JP, Dizzy, Monica live from the original Hooters this Friday from 11 to 1. He's going to have your last minute Metallica tickets as well. I think everybody's got them. So there are chances to win. I don't know what everybody is going to do, but you will not have to do very much to win them here. You just got to stick through the commercial breaks.
What do you think was your favorite last day of school? Like, what grade was it? Was it your senior year? Was it going from middle school to high school? Or like, what was it?
You want to know what's weird is that my feeling of senior year, when I remember it, I don't want to say it was sad, but it had a tinge of sadness to it.
Like you sad that you're moving on from your friends.
I think it's
you're
just
all adults now.
Yeah, I think it's just uncertainty. When you have a last day of school for all those other years, it's just different. There's you're more looking at the immediate future. You go, well, I know I'm chilling. I'm chilling for the next however many months. When you're a senior, you don't know if you're going to see these people. Kind of what you said about the other thing with moving school. So I think I had more of that feeling in my senior year when it was like, I don't know if I'm going to see these people again. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I've got to grow up now. Very well and easy to see that I'm somebody that isn't big on growing up and have yet to do so, at this age. So I think I remember that just being kind of uncertain. I would say probably early on in high school, maybe 7th, 8th, or 9th grade would have probably been, because then at that point I was kind of starting to probably party a little bit and get into trouble. So my anticipation level of doing bad things and just running wild all summer was probably the highest.
Yeah, mine was for sure 8th grade because I'm like, I'm going to be a high schooler next year. I'm going to get to date high school girls.
When you went into 8th grade, what was the breakdown of what kids were in what school? You know what I'm saying? So like here in Tampa, did you go to one school? Like what were the breakdown of grades? Because ours were weird.
Yeah.
We had one school for 7th grade.
In Canada, it went K through 8th, and then you go to high school. And when my parents went, and they changed this, I think like maybe 5 years before I entered high school, they had grade 13. It would go to grade 13.
In where?
In high school.
No, where though?
In Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Grade.
Do you not have kindergarten? Do they tack it on the end?
No, I think it's basically because Canada does schooling different there. And they took off grade 13 and they kind of incorporated into the new 11th, 12th grade that they do. But essentially, grade 13 is you get prepared for whatever you want to do. Gotcha. College, university, which are two different things.
Is it by choice? Or everybody went to 13th grade?
Everyone went to 13th grade.
No, really?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Now when you go to high school in Canada, well, or at least when I went through, so I graduated in 06, by 11th grade, you kind of got to know what you're doing because you got to take classes dependent on that.
Oh, yeah. I see this. Yeah. In Ontario, the OAC was a 5th year of secondary education, previously known as grade 13.
Yeah.
Designed for preparing for post-secondary education. The OAC was eliminated in 2003.
Oh, yeah. See, again, it was right before kind of I went there. So when I went there, they incorporated this new thing. You got to know what you're doing. So when I came to, when I was my senior in high school and I moved there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And they're like, you got to take your classes depending on what you want to do.
What you're going to do with your life, which that was cool for me because I think it was this was like the luckiest damn thing ever, man. I take for granted how great this was because I knew that I was going to be in, like, radio was the only thing. Like, that was, as I'm coming up in high school, like, it was the only thing. So starting in 11th grade, I got I forget what they called it. It had an official name, but it was pretty much, I got to come into school. I missed the first 2 periods because I had an internship at the radio station.
Oh, that's dope.
So when I left school every day, I was working on a night show in Flint, Michigan, Nights with Clay. Shout out to Clay Church, one of my earliest mentors. So I would leave school, go to Flint, which was about 45 minutes away, and then I would be at the radio station all night. And then I didn't have to be to school. I didn't have to be to school until like 11:30.
Oh,
so,
nice.
and what was even crazier is that some of those nights were like club gigs.
Yeah.
So we would be out at a club that I wasn't old enough to get into because I was 16, 17 years old. It was 18 and over. But because I worked for the radio station, I was in. So I would be up all night at these club gigs with the radio station, secretly drinking vodka and Gatorade out of a bottle on the side, and then not have to go to class until 11:30 the next day. And it was that's
a life to live, bro.
Dude, I got very, very lucky with that late in school. But the thing was, so you went kindergarten through 6th was elementary school, and then we had one school that was just 7th grade. Just 7th graders, and then we had 2 high schools. So then you would be with all of these kids in 7th grade, and then it gets split down the middle. Half of the kids go to this high school, half of the kids go to the other. And we started, it seems a little younger than other high schools. Our high school started with 8th grade.
Yeah.
Was that what age you're?
No, Canada was still 9th grade.
It was not. So, because that was the thing, too, is that
But they didn't have freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors because they used to have grade 13, so it made no sense to them. You'd just be a senior in 12th grade.
Because that's the thing is that it felt so weird. You don't realize the gap between an 8th grader and a senior. Like when I was an 8th grader, and the thing that was, I don't know what the hell happened and why they did this, but so the 8th graders were in portables. They were in trailers outside.
Yeah.
So all of our classes were in trailers outside, but you still had your lockers inside and you went to lunch inside and everything. But I remember being an 8th grader amongst adults. Like you go to school on your first day of 8th grade, and I mean, a senior feels like an adult. And we had certain classes like gym class. I had gym class with seniors, and they were they were freaking brutal. Like they were out for blood for the 8th graders every single day. And I remember, I wouldn't say that I was bullied because I don't remember what happened, but I do remember there was discussion about me not wearing underwear in gym class.
That's
and then
weird, bro.
Well, I don't know that I wasn't.
Oh,
but
really?
there was definitely a discussion from the seniors that my wiener was flopping out all over while I was doing jumping jacks. Like that was what they honed in on me for. I remember very vividly that it was like, put that thing away, dude. What are you doing?
Put that hog away, man. This is not weight training class.
I don't know.
What I mean?
Trust me, I don't remember it being like, damn, look at the big hog on the 8th grader. I remember it being like, look at this dude's Audi is poking through his shorts.
I remember there was this popular kid in school, big mouth kid, loved to talk, and he got pantsed in gym class.
Dude.
I don't know if he wasn't wearing boxers or when someone pantsed him, they got them both. My back, like his back was to me, but I remember he was standing by the stands. It was like a basketball class. Everyone laughed.
Dude.
That kid no longer was popular.
Did the pantsing era end? It kind of feels like it did. Dude, because pantsing was Dude, that was a big thing in our society. Like pulling your friend's pants down was like number one pastime for children of a certain age. You don't hear of many people being pantsed as much these days.
I think that was the only pantsing I ever remember ever seeing in my schooling. And I expected him to go fight someone, because if you pants me, whether it's big or not, we're fighting.
Well, dude, bare ass pants. Like you can come back from oh no, everybody saw my undies pants.
Yeah,
you come back to a bare ass little wiener pantsing, and I mean, dude, that's gonna take some time to get off your record.
Yeah, like I said, he was a popular kid. Not after that.
Oh, dude, that's tough, dude. You want $1,000? This hour's keyword is ticket. Head to the 102.5 The Bone app now and enter ticket before 30 minutes past the top of the hour, and the $1,000 Bone bonus could be yours. TICKET. If you get a call from a number that you don't recognize within 30 minutes after the top of the hour that the keyword is announced, make sure you answer it. It could be one of our contest judges calling you to let you know you are a winner. It's ticket. Go get that money. I did want to at least touch on the fact another great race last night, still fully enthralled. I hate to say it, when I was trying to figure out, because I'm asking all morning yesterday at the hospital, I'm like, am I getting out of here? They're like, we don't know yet. I wanted out of the hospital for many different reasons, but the big reason was I needed to get home and watch the race last night. Big race at Nashville, and one of my favorite racers who had not won yet, who had not secured his spot in the playoff, Ryan Blaney, won the race last night, and it was just awesome to see. Dude, I found this, somebody put together this really funny clip, which it's being talked about widely, that Amazon is doing the best NASCAR coverage on television ever done before. And you'll see people put these together with football every now and again, but somebody took all of the clips from Amazon Prime's NASCAR coverage and all of the things that sound dirty when they're really not. And I thought it would be fun to share before we go to break.
And now, guys, we turn our attention to the crack.
We're always on that edge. Joey scored.
Yeah, that's dumb. I don't know why I'm so hard.
How would you measure it?
Ross Chastain could be coming. Such a limited amount of grip compared to the asphalt. Pretty big box. It's the tricky entry. Byron's going to feel that hole. Company coming. It's a game of inches. Priest, Stenhouse, these are two hard-headed guys.
Yeah, I'm shocked that everyone came as early as they did.
Man, it feels so good.
Oh, no. The fluid has gotten hot.
Yeah, that top's not an option. And they're coming from behind.
These boys are keeping an eye on a hole.
He's wearing those shorts.
Those are his boxing shorts?
I'd probably go the way if I was Hocevar.
Brad Keselowski pulling out. Oh, man. You kind of touched on it here.
This is a stubborn, hard race car driver.
And as a quick reminder, they came inside 1 inch. It's going to be a long night.
And it doesn't take much. Wham! Trying to get through on the bottom.
Keep coming.
I'm a big Reacher fan. He's fading to the middle. He must be coming.
If you have a tire going down, at some point you just have to come.
And then you just said it, Steve. We got a long way.
Oh, it's the nighttime.
It's the right time. I don't want to participate.
And I love showing it.
69. This ass, he got him tight, so then he couldn't finish. And Byron trying to squirt.
Back-to-back poles.
He's comfortable with that because he is a game.
Osamar's going to try to inch him at the line. Coochie for Denny Hamlin. Hang out a little bit longer. You can fill it up, Trevor.
This goes on for like 2 more minutes, but it was too good not to share. Shout out to Ryan Effin Blaney, as he's known. He's also a big country music guy, so it makes sense that he won in Nashville, and another great race. If you didn't know, you can also listen to the races right here on 102.5 The Bone, and hopefully, I'm really trying. Ryan Blaney's at the top of my list of drivers right now to get. We're supposed to have Kyle Busch sometime in the next couple weeks too, so we'll keep you abreast on all of that. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, these people are holding. I know they're probably just think they're going to get Metallica tickets. Senning Show, who's this? Hello?
Yeah, he just heard what you said.
Senning Show, who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, what's
This
up?
is Matt.
What's up, Matt?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Not
yeah,
too
I was holding for the Metallica tickets.
Okay. Senning Show, you're live. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, John? JT.
What up? Wait, JT or JP?
JT.
What up?
Hey, not much. Anyway, glad you're okay.
Thank
you. Oh, you never called me back when I won the Cinco de Mayo.
Wait, what?
I won the Cinco de Mayo. Orale, pastor!
Oh, what did you win for that?
It was supposed to be whatever those 2 concerts that were going on.
All right, hang tight. I got you. Good work. Senning Show, you're live. Thank you. I figured that would happen. I told you it's going to happen during the commercial break with no warning. And before I do it, I'm blocking out all of the lines. So if you're sitting on the line, it will give you no advantage to getting the Metallica tickets. That's just the way that it is. I'm going to block them out when it's time. But it could happen at any moment. Caller number 1 will get hooked up with night 1 of Metallica tickets at some point today during a commercial break. And holding on the line will do nothing for you at all. Tiza Energy, you know I'm rocking, I think this is a wintergreen right now. One of my favorite products in the entire world, especially on days like today where I'm feeling a little, malaise. I need a little boost. Nothing better than a Tiza Energy to perk me up. A lot of people use them to quit dipping. I hear from ladies, which is my favorite thing ever. They say, John, I haven't been able to mouth kiss my husband in years because he's always got a jaw full of chaw, and now I can tongue him down because he's on that sweet, delightful Tiza all the time. So ladies, maybe you got to be the one to make the move and get some Tiza for your husband. You can stock up at TizaEnergy.com. Use the code BONE20. That's going to give you 20% off everything in the online store. You can also stock up at Amazon. They've got all the flavors, and maybe you're somebody who needs a subscription. Boom, hit the subscribe and save tab. You'll have a box of Tiza showing up at your door every single week. There are flavors for everybody. They're in Walmarts now, all over Florida as well. They're easy to get. As long as you get a pouch in your mouth, do it today. Tiza Energy. Why spit when you can swallow?
Cocaine ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. But it's a mighty hard living, but a damn good feeling to run these roads.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. The Bone Bonus is back. The Bone is giving you $1,000 5 times a day, every weekday. Listen to The Bone for your chance to win $1,000 at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2, and 5 p.m. every weekday. Good news, The Bone Bonus is tariff-free. It's The Bone Bonus, hooking you up with cash every single weekday. Presented to you by Farah & Farah, Tampa's accident attorneys. FarahandFarah.com. The Bone Bonus is back. 102.5 The Bone. Real, raw radio.
Injured? Take back control of your life. Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
It's IDC's most anticipated event of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. That's right. High interest rates have been put on hold at International Diamond Center. Now through June, you can make any purchase and spread your payments out to 2030 without paying a dime in interest. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, and our largest selection ever of certified hand-picked diamonds and exclusive designer fashion jewelry. Pick any item, celebrate your love, get the value price you deserve, then spread your payments over 5 years. That $6,000 pair of diamond earrings is just $100 a month. That $12,000 engagement ring is just $200 a month. Everything's affordable with this amazing offer. 0 interest all the way to 2030. There's just one catch. This is a limited time offer just for the month of June. So don't wait. Let IDC help you get the jewelry you've been dreaming of at a price and payment you didn't think was possible anymore. International Diamond Center in Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota. Excludes Rolex. Details and more at shopidc.com on approved credit.
Are you ready to elevate your social game? This is John Senning here for Kava Social Club in downtown Bradenton, your go-to spot for fun and relaxation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is not just any hangout. It's a community social club with incredible weekly events. On Wednesday, karaoke night, where you can unleash that inner rock star. On Thursday, test your knowledge with trivia night. Great questions, great prizes, and even better company. You need some relaxation? Well, treat yourself on any one of their many massage nights and let your stress just melt away. Showcase your talents at open mic night or strategize with fellow enthusiasts with the ever popular Sunday Chess Club. The night market is a must visit with local vendors, delicious food, and handcrafted goodies that are sure to make it a night to remember. Dive into the amazing events going on at Cavo Social Club today and visit them online at thecavasocialclub.com and on social media at Cava Social Club. Cava Social Club, where your vibe attracts your tribe. Boola, baby!
If you've been hurt in an accident, Bernetti PA is here with a quick response. One call and we're on it. It's fast, easy, and focused on you. Quick action, real results. Bernetti PA, we're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
Hi, I'm Patrick Thomas.
And I'm Heather Thomas from Bolt Electric, where we believe that the right way is the only way to do home electrical.
We believe the National Electrical Code is really the minimum standard, not the maximum standard.
We believe you deserve better electrical parts and better service.
We believe in ongoing training for our electricians.
Because there's no end to learning and improving.
Because at Bolt, we believe your safety is our core priority. Electrical problem? Call Bolt.
Online at boltelectric.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims. And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Customers often ask, what's the right mattress for me? At the Original Mattress Factory, our answer is always the same. It's all about personal preference. You should select the one that feels right to you because there isn't a one mattress fits all solution. That's why we offer a selection of quality and comfort choices for every preference. And our sales team will help you find the right product for your specific needs. At the Original Mattress Factory, we have the right mattress for just about everyone. Stop by to find yours today.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
1025 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 1073 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. 800-771-1025. The phones lines are ringing. I'm sorry. I don't want to say it's you, not me, but it's you. I'm not giving away Metallica tickets right now, so it's definitely you. Watch along at theboneonline.com, YouTube, Facebook. The Bone Beach Bash officially sold out. From what I understand, you can still roll through. Dude, I heard you guys talking about it earlier. I cannot wait to see. I think there's just going to be so many elements of this that are going to be interesting going in. Hearing JP talking about it, hearing the Carmen yoga thing. I think we still got a long road to see what exactly is going to be taking place. But Matt and Zach, they're an awesome group out of Bonita Springs that I think in real time are blowing up and will probably be even bigger by the time the Bone Bash comes around. On Friday night, they're going to be doing a live set. We're going to have a big pig roast on Saturday. Mike Calta and Pitbull Toddler will be taking the stage. Drew is doing a poolside karaoke. I don't know about the yoga. I know there's going to be a bonfire jam session, pool parties all week, a hungover brunch on Sunday. And from what I understand, you can just come. Even if you don't have a room, you're going to be able to come and just hang out. Probably the most interactive Bone event that I've seen that will have everybody from the Bone present partying all weekend long. So if you didn't get your room, you slept on that, but still come out. I heard Mike Calta saying this is a great thing. If you have a boat that you can like sleep on, there are still boat slips available. So you could come and be right in the mix of things and stay on your boat all weekend. They were talking about your boy Sexy Mark this morning, who I guess is going to be out of town.
Yeah.
So he will not be able to bring a yacht on down. But if you got a big boat, a yacht, or just a boat that you feel fine camping in, you can get a boat slip. I think the link is still available at theboatonline.com. And you can just be camping out all weekend, which that sounds pretty sweet too, sleeping on the boat.
Yeah, we definitely need to incorporate something boat-related with us in the beach bash. I was going to do something with Mark, but as you just said, he's meeting the president. He's going to the White House and meeting the president.
He's meeting the president?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't know.
You don't know why? That wasn't their first question, is why are you going to see the president?
No, I said, that sucks, man. I wanted you at the beach bash.
Oh, damn. Well, I have to say, when Donnie T makes the call, Sexy Mark has to answer it, but it's going to be a hell of it. So we've got our buddy Captain Christian, who runs the Dolphin Cruise.
We talked to him at the Rise Up.
Who's the man? I know he's talked about bringing his boat down, so that would be really cool if he's just kind of around. I don't want to speak for him, but if he's around, we can at least do some cruising, check out some dolphins, do a little sunset cruise, something like that. So still plenty of things to be announced. If you didn't get your room, don't be too sad. You can still come through or get yourself a damn boat and sleep on it. A couple things in the dating realm that I wanted to touch on. One we breezed upon on Friday that I think deserves a little more conversation. We're going to get to that. But this one, dude, I've noticed, I don't know if you've been seeing these on social media. They come off as fairly cruel, but I will tell you, the world can be cruel. So it's pretty much these guys. Oh, is this in the link? Are these videos in the link to this story? Where they'll go up to a girl and they'll go, "Hey, is height the deal breaker for you?" And they go, "Oh yeah, nobody under 6 foot or whatever." So the guy then pulls out a tape measure and goes, "Well, can I measure your waist?" And then they measure the girl's waist and go, "Oh yeah, well it doesn't matter because your waist is too big for me anyways." And then they're just like, "Well, you're making the decision on men based on their height, something they can't control, and you can control your waist size." So it comes off cruel, but I think there's a deeper message there about height shaming, specifically in the realm of dating apps. You must be this tall to swipe is the reign of the short king over on Tinder. The platform has been accused of superficiality after testing out a new feature that allows users to screen potential matches based on height. This is a part of a broader effort to help people connect more intentionally on Tinder. That coming from a rep for the platform. The new vetting function, which came to light via Reddit and other platforms, is located in the discovery section of the digital romance service and lets users specify the minimum and maximum height of their matches. The function will only be available to users that subscribe to Tinder Platinum, which is a premier subscription tier that costs you $40 a month. Ooh. Along with the new height option, the tier also includes prioritized likes, special interest filter, and a message before you match function. Meanwhile, the regular tier users can already customize several search preferences with the discovery settings. Now, I mean, I hate to put you on the spot here, but I mean, I feel like this one might hit home for you a little bit. Wrong, right? Wrong, or do you almost feel like you get ahead of it so it takes away awkward interactions?
No, I think it's kind of stupid because if you give them the option, a lot of people are going to now just cut off, and it's not speaking specifically to me, but you're going to lose someone that's maybe 5'10 or 5'11. You're cutting them off just because they didn't meet the 6 foot mark. That's kind of weird. When I was on the dating apps and when I was living the single life, this is something Bumble offered way back.
They used to be able to pick by height?
Yeah, you could filter through height. And it was articles would be printed that guys were like, I just don't get matched because I'm 5'10", I'm 5'11", and no girl wants someone under 6 foot, which is so stupid, they say. Which I agree with. It is kind of dumb. You're cutting out all these extra people. So I deleted Bumble because I was like, well, I'm not gonna get anyone.
And it's gotta be one of the last things where, and we're talking about it, and obviously there's people making videos online and the discussion is there, but it's one of the last things that is not widely looked down upon when it comes to a form of discrimination. You know what I mean? Because what else is it? I mean, maybe that's being mildly dramatic, but you have essentially a whole pool of women out there who are saying, I'm not swiping if you're under a certain height, which everybody gets the preference of what they like and what they don't like. But it is a very interesting thing in the climate that we're in today, where it just has always been borderline acceptable. But I mean, look at you, man. You got a damn fine woman, and
but that wasn't through dating apps.
Well, yeah, that was because you're on the radio.
Yeah.
Which that helps it out. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if you don't want to talk about this, I think you've talked about it on there. Did you get kicked off of a dating app because of a height-related thing?
No, I got kicked off of Tinder and Hinge, and it was because my ex reported me.
And said
catfish.
What?
She said it was a catfish.
Oh, so she was just trying to ruin your life.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, this is not him. She's catfishing someone who's someone else. And if you're not verified, because I wasn't verified, where you got to get like the blue check.
Oh, they just shut it
take
down.
off. Yeah. If you're verified, they'll investigate.
They don't even try to help you out.
I kept my height on all the time because it's just it's going to come up, the topic of it. So I did not care.
It's tough with anybody who is in the catfish realm, and I miss the dating app thing. Like I think right before I met Danielle, and I just moved to Florida. I remember I had Plenty of Fish, and that was I was on a desktop.
That's the OG.
I was on a desktop scenario, and that's where I met the girl I told the story a few months back who had the
sticks,
the crutch legs.
Yeah.
Which again, that's another thing. I don't want to discriminate. I don't have any plans on discriminating, but I also think you just got to be honest with people because you're really potentially just holding off a heartbreak or a bad scenario, because most dates, most people will meet in person eventually, and they're going to figure out all the things you chose not to tell them.
Yeah, exactly. When I did the dating apps, I would try to lean into it a little bit. Like I think on my profile, it said like whatever information, and I think one of the things was I don't agree with the doctor's assessment of my height. So I'd put like 5'4", and they'd be like, how tall are you? Really 5'4"? I go, honestly, the doctors say 5'2". I'm thinking I'm 5'4". We'll decide when you see me. And they just kind of like that. They thought it was funny, and they'd lean into it. But if I put my height, it's a good thing, because like then you know who you're dealing with. It's someone who's not like, oh, he needs to be 6 foot, blah, blah, blah. They're just like, yeah, I don't care about the height. He seems like a cool person.
Well, and that's the thing. I will say, not to just S your D. I mean, you are, just blooming with personality.
Yeah.
Where I say, I think that makes up for anything that a woman may be worried about. I mean, you have the riz of a 6'2" man. So
I appreciate
I think that. You carry yourself like that, which is a good thing.
Which is funny, because when I did match with women, it seemed like the girls who were taller didn't care as much as the girls who were around my height or shorter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like the girls who were like, let's say 5 foot, 4'11", 5'1", 5'2", they'd be like, oh, I want a 6 foot guy. But then I'd get girls who were like 5'4", 5'5", 5'6". I'd be like, you know I'm 5'2", right? They're like, yeah, I don't care. Do you care? I go, I mean, I'm saying no now, but we'll see if we ever kiss and what happens then.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that you hear sometimes, and there's these elements that just don't seem to go both ways. Maybe it's a double standard. But I think at some point with, like, smaller girls, there gets to be, like, a fetishized angle of it, where the guy is, like, into a spinner, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sure it's out there, but you don't hear as much about, like, a glamazon type woman that's, like, 6 foot plus, and she's like, I really want to get me a man that I can throw around a little bit. Like, I'm sure they're out there, but you just don't hear about it quite as much. Just one sec. This is going to recap the Kava Social Club party in just one sec. But who's this?
This is Mike. John and Dizzy. How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty damn good. What's up, buddy?
I tried getting through your during your vroom vroom segment, but I couldn't.
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
we
popular.
can get a little vroom vroom going on. What's up?
I just watched it the other day, but did you watch? Speaking of commentary and stuff like that, the inaugural Wienermobile 500 at the Indianapolis 500?
I did not watch it in its entirety, but I definitely saw the clips of the Wienermobile 500, and it was undeniably entertaining. I will say the Wienermobiles racing at Indy is pretty cool.
Yeah, I could barely watch the whole thing. I was laughing so much just from the commentary. It was great.
It was. Did you watch the race last night?
No, I watched the Spanish Grand Prix at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh damn! You're in a more hardcore lane than I am.
IndyCar, F1.
Oh man, you got a little extra vroom in your boom boom. You're giving me a vroomer just talking about it. Thank you for the call. So talk to me about Saturday night. I was bummed that I could not be there, but by every metric and everything that I've heard, the Cava Social Club threw a hell of a party.
Yeah, so I've never been there.
You had never been there?
Never been to the Cava Social Club.
Is it not just off the chain?
When we were pulling up, so first of all, I was like, oh, this is like the venue from the outside. We thought, oh, it's probably not going to have a big back to it.
It's inconspicuous. Like
it's
don't
very
really,
inconspicuous.
When you pull up, you're like, okay, what is this spot?
So we walked in. So when we pulled up, it was me, Nicole, Pap, and Christy. We go in. Obviously, me and Nicole are dressed up. 2 days before, she's like, we're going to go to the thrift shop and we're going to get an outfit for this. I go, really? I was just going to wear like a tie-dye shirt or something.
That's dedication to the game. And did you post that picture on, did you post your get up on Twitter?
Not on Twitter.
You should post it on Twitter here in a second because you had to, if there was a contest, you won.
Yeah. So we went into the thrift shop before all this. And like I said, I was just planning on like getting a tie-dye. And she goes, no, dress the part. So we were trying to figure out. And I was like, all right, Jackson 5-esque clothes. We'll see. That'll work perfectly. When I was at the thrift shop, there were some old ladies working at the front. So I went up and go, I want to be that guy, but I feel like you guys would know 70s.
You were there.
Yeah.
You ladies were there.
Yeah, you were like 42 then. So what do you think? And they're like, yeah, perfect. Nicole and me, we got the wigs. We pull up. We go in. Packed.
Dude,
and we get there right at 7.
Yeah. I was talking to Lisa earlier. She was like, it was shoulder to shoulder, which brings me great joy for them.
Yeah, so we go in there and we take a look around. We're taking in everything. It's just so like there's so many colors right when you walk in. Like it hits you right away.
The way
like,
it's lit,
it's
in
vibrant.
There. Yeah, the way that it's lit in there, in many different ways, lit literally and figuratively as well.
Everyone's having a great time. We go to the back and I see Lisa from sales and we go say hi to her. And she's like, if you've been in there, she's about middle ways through the back. And as soon as I go to say hi, I'm hit with an aroma.
Dude, I will say, I told you the vibes on the back patio are very friendly and very aromatic. And so I saw a video they posted, I think recently, of like when they bought the building and like when it was nothing. And it was like a time-lapse video of them building that tiki hut out back. I mean, that thing is massive. It's giant.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a big-ass tiki hut they put back there.
Yeah, so we're hanging out there. We go inside. We take some photos. Have some drinks.
What were you sipping on? Did you do any of the cycling frog while you're in the house?
No, I didn't do the cycling frog just because I didn't know what was going to happen for the night.
That was a good call.
Yeah,
keep your consciousness.
So when Ryan and Sarah, when I first met them, it was when Ian Beckles was hosting the morning show, and he brought them in, and we got to meet. They brought this coffee, and it's basically it's called, I think, a sweet caramel something kava coffee. And
it's got kava in the coffee.
Yeah, and it was like basically, an iced coffee. Me and Pap, we were arguing over who got to take the rest home because it was that good. We were like blown away. So that's all I drank for the night.
Is that what you were drinking?
Yeah, I only had 2.
How are you feeling? Because I saw the video of you on the mic, and I'm not saying you sounded like you were addled, but you sounded like you had a nice buzz to you.
I had a little good buzz to me.
Was that from the kava, you think?
I think so. I was feeling the kava. Like I was relaxed and everything.
It's an interesting. So a couple, whatever day that was over the Memorial Day weekend, I went and sat with Ian at the Dignitary Cafe, and we had maybe like 3 or 4 shells.
Yeah.
And the buzz from kava, it's like hard to even put into words. It's just like this well-being feeling, like your whole body's just kind of buzzing a little bit, your tongue gets a little numb.
Yes.
It's just a great feeling.
And Nicole got I say it's kratom. Is it kratom?
I've heard it said both ways.
It's tomato.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would would correct you, but I think that it's you're safe either way.
So we got there at 7, and we're just putting stuff in the air, hanging out. Talked to Ryan and Sarah for a bit. Obviously they're hosts, so they're running around. They don't have time to just sit and talk for hours.
Did you gamble? Because, dude, the table games looked, these tables were packed.
Yeah, the tables opened at 8. Nicole gambled with the girls went and gambled for a while. Me and Ian were hanging out, chopping up, actually talking about you because I was catching him up. Because he's like, he had no idea what happened to you.
Yeah.
He's like, where's John? I'm like, oh, you didn't see the photos of him in the back of an ambulance?
That's freaking everybody out?
What?
Yeah.
And then, we talked about that. And then I went and gambled. Tables were packed. But it was a great.
I was talking
love
to Lisa.
that.
Yeah, Lisa's like, I was at the table for hours. We were playing blackjack for hours.
Yeah, Lisa was locked in at the table. But I went and played roulette. Was the one I go to. I like roulette. I didn't want to play blackjack because I don't know. I overthink it, and then I feel like you're going against the house, but the way I play messes up the people I'm with.
That is the thing. And I think you're probably a little safer because from what I understand, it was for tokens and things like that. But I'm the same way, dude. Last time we went to the Hard Rock, it was late night after the Creed concert, and I sat down, and I'm just an idiot. I don't know. And I was with people who did, and they were like, dude, you can't play like this. Like you're getting major dirty looks right now, even if you don't realize it.
So, we hung out there, he gave us a voucher, so Nicole was killing. She was killing it at roulette. Nicole was killing it so much that the dealer had to start buying chips back because he had none to give her. Because you know how you get the color code and the other. So she was killing it at that. Had a great time. At the end of it, they did like a costume contest. He brought me up to talk. He mentioned you and stuff and the show, and obviously how you wanted to be there. Then. He mentioned me, and he had me do a speech. Well, he didn't have me. He asked me if I wanted to talk. I was like, absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta say, you did us proud. You sounded great, and I thank you very much for being such a presence there. Not that you wouldn't have been if I was there, but I know that everything went as damn good as possible.
Yeah, we won in the raffle.
Oh, you
won
did?
A huge cooler.
Oh, really?
But I don't know. I felt like because here's the thing. I felt like since he brought me up before all this, when I won it and we won it, I was like, Nicole, I was like, I want to give this to someone.
Yeah, I
feel
get that
weird.
I get that feeling. I don't think you're necessarily wrong for having that feeling. So, did you pretend like you were going to give it to somebody, then you didn't?
No, I gave it to someone.
Oh,
someone who was at the table next to us. Who was like, "Man, that's a dope cooler." I go, "It's yours." He's like, "What do you mean? I go, take it, bro."
What a sweetie you are.
I was like, "I got 20 of these at home." No, just kidding. But so I gave it to someone, and we hung around probably about till midnight.
Did you dance? Because you were telling me that you had plans to dance. Did you dance?
No, only because. The music was inside. Outside, I think they have a noise ordinance and everything, so they couldn't really play music like that. So and inside was shoulder to shoulder.
Did you get a chance to meet my Lapeer brethren, Tim Calatree, who was doing the tie-dye out there? Did you meet that guy?
No.
They had a
he was actually right next to us.
Yeah.
He was busy.
Yeah, dude, he was great. I was I was bummed for a bunch of different reasons, but I didn't know that he was going to have a whole store out there.
Yeah.
And this is a dude that is from the same city I grew up in Michigan, and by coincidence, we've crossed paths. He's a fan of the station. He did this shirt that I'm wearing right now. He does a great job, and he had a whole booming ass little store that he had out there.
Yeah, it was bumping over there. I feel like it was a great way for if people came there and they felt like I should have dressed up for this, they can go just spend a couple bucks, get a tie-dye, throw it on, and now they don't feel as out of place. Yeah. But that was not the vibes there. Everyone was just having a great time, whether you're dressed up or not. Everyone was at the tables. Everyone was just mingling. And one of the things I said in my speech, not a lot of people with their phones out. It's just everyone in the moment.
Damn, you love to hear it. I know you're a big phone supporter, so I'm glad that I'm rubbing off on you a little bit.
I had mine down, except obviously I had to post because we're out there. But I was loving the vibes out there. I'm definitely going to go there a lot more.
Are you going to post that picture of your get up during the commercial break?
100%. I got to grab my phone that's charging.
Go check out at Dizzy for Mayor and look at his get up for the Cava Social Club 70s party. Thank you to everybody who came out. Thanks again to Bodie and Sarah, who are the best. You, Beckles, Pap, and the whole crew that were out there holding it down. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, dude, this is a very interesting list. I'm not sure if anybody talked about it yet today, but it's I don't know that it was connected, but I want to bring it up as well. Something insane happened on the set of a Kevin Costner movie. He's in trouble for it, and there is now a list of terrible things that have happened on the set of movies that I want to run through with you next on more Senning Show. And remember, during a commercial break, you never know when, we're going to give away our first pair of Metallica tickets, so keep it locked in right here.
And wait for you to. I love it when you roll up to my house. I love it.
Hawkins Service Co. One call really does handle it all. If you think to yourself, I don't want to stress out about having to find an HVAC company and a plumbing and an electrical and a pool repair company. I got to do all this digging through the yellow pages, through Googling. Not if you go with Hawkins, because it's all under one roof and they're always running tons of great specials. The heat is here, but it's only going to get worse. And if that AC system is struggling, do not sweat it. Hawkins will buy your old system for up to $1,500 towards a brand new one, or just keep that system running tight with a $69 AC tune-up. Yeah, $69 off. And right now, you get a free duct sanitizing with any duct cleaning. These sizzling HVAC deals are only good through June 30th. They've also got the special running. If it's your first time using Hawkins and you heard about them from the bone, 10% off as well. So make sure you hit them up today, 813-445-8209. And you can even book online, HawkinsServiceCO.com. Hawkins, one call, handles it all.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Tell us what you think. Head to the 102.5 The Bone app now and leave us an open mic. The Open Mic on the free 102.5 The Bone app is sponsored by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
It's IDC's most anticipated event of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. That's right. High interest rates have been put on hold at International Diamond Center. Now through June, you can make any purchase and spread your payments out to 2030 without paying a dime in interest. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, and our largest selection ever of certified hand-picked diamonds and exclusive designer fashion jewelry. Pick any item, celebrate your love, get the value price you deserve, then spread your payments over 5 years. That $6,000 pair of diamond earrings is just $100 a month. That $12,000 engagement ring is just $200 a month. Everything's affordable with this amazing offer. 0 interest all the way to 2030. There's just one catch. This is a limited time offer just for the month of June. So don't wait. Let IDC help you get the jewelry you've been dreaming of at a price and payment you didn't think was possible anymore. International Diamond Center in Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota. Excludes Rolex. Details and more at shopidc.com on approved credit.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, did you know that with Frontier Fiber Internet, the best Wi-Fi isn't just for VIPs anymore?
So even if I have less than 1 million followers?
Or me, a total noob?
What if I'm not in the metaverse yet?
Yeah, now everyone can get Wi-Fi 7 with a premium Eero router on Fiber 500 and up. Now starting at only $39.99 per month. Switch to the most advanced Wi-Fi on 100% fiber internet. Only from Frontier. Good to go. In select areas, price for 12 months with autopay. ETF terms apply. Max speeds wired. Actual average and Wi-Fi speed vary.
What's up, Bone listeners? It's Captain Zach. Are you looking for more power? Check out my friends at LBP. Whether you're boating, taking a cruise on the golf cart, my friends at Lithium Battery Power have the innovative technology to give that to you. Check them out at lithiumbatterypower.com or call 727-223-9831. Lithium Battery Power. Longer life, more power.
Renewal by Anderson of Tampa, Sarasota has an unbelievable 30-year anniversary sale. You buy one, you get one 30% off for replacement windows and patio doors. They are affordable, they are thorough, they are efficient and polite. You will love the work they do for you in beautifying your home. Renewal by Anderson, bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate the hassle this summer. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
Looking for a great lunch combo? Hooters, Surfside Seltzer, Metallica tickets, and JP? Join 102.5 The Bone and The JP Show on Friday, June 6th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the original Hooters on Gulf to Bay. JP will be broadcasting live, and he will have your last shot at Metallica tickets. Pre-game with JP at the original Hooters with 102.5 The Bone.
When it really matters, choose Farrah and Farrah. Here for you, here for good. Tampa.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. 800-771-1025. Exciting news. Shout out to Abby Jensen. Hold on, let me see if I can press this button and make it work right. Hold on. Let's see what happens if I hit this.
Hello?
It's a one-sided combo, sorry.
I did. That was me.
Am I supposed to say? Should I see if I can fill in the
caller?
caller?
I thought you were going to.
Hey, Abby. Is this Abby? Did you register for $1,000?
I did. That was me.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. You're our winner.
I am so excited. I've been trying forever. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. We love you, Abby. Thank you for listening to The Bone.
Thank you. This is amazing.
What are you going to do with that $1,000? I'm guessing at this point. What are you
I'm actually at work.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. That's not what I asked, but thanks. What are you going to do with that $1,000?
Seminole.
Oh, that's not what I asked either, but it's cool.
Yes, pay a credit card bill off.
Oh, awesome. Great,
Yeah.
great. Maybe get some drinks, maybe go on a little vacay, maybe something for yourself too?
Yeah, I'm at work, so I better not.
What are they asking?
Yeah, she's like, take off your panties. But shout out to Abby Jensen, Bone listener. Congratulations on winning $1,000. I know everybody could use a little extra cheddar these days. Did not give away the Metallica tickets, by the way, either. Oh, I don't know if you're calling for that, but just in case it didn't happen yet.
The photo's up on Twitter.
Oh, it is at Dizzy for Mayor. Look at the man, Studley 70. So wait, were you even eligible for the costume contest? Because I have to feel like you would have won.
I was eligible. I took off the mustache, which I feel is like a big selling point.
It's very key. You with the because when you also do the corporate Diz, you wear the mustache.
Yeah.
Something about you with a mustache like really elevates the persona. Like, I don't know if you can rock it every day, but when you do rock it, it adds a certain je ne sais quoi to your whole being.
So those are all from this pack I got back.
Oh.
Yeah, because way back when I was going to go out for Halloween, I was going to dress as Rick Sanchez, Rick and Morty guy, but I didn't have any gray eyebrows, and just painting them gray didn't look right. So I bought this mustache thing, and I used like 2 mustaches as the eyebrows, but they come in all different colors. So corporate diz and all that.
It all works.
Yeah,
it all works. And I hope that we can find some way. I know we're talking about the dating game. I hope that can come together for the Bone Beach Bash broadcast. That's a lot of bees. And I'd like to see you in that white mustache out there, hopefully.
Speaking of that, if you would like to be added into the Date JoJo thing, reach out to me. DM me. Hit me up. Send me a reason why you think you'd be good, a photo of yourself, because, I got to sell you to JoJo.
So, have you been in contact, and I should be asking you this off the air, have you been in contact with your cousin and Doug? Do you think that they're both going to be able to be willing participants? The fact of the matter is they don't necessarily, I mean, for the payoff, it would be best if they were there, because I know we want to keep it like a blind contest where you don't know who's answering what. So maybe there's a scenario where we could do it without them. I wouldn't like to. Do you have connections to both of those guys?
I talked to Doug a little less than I talked to my cousin, but I'm sure JoJo, my cousin, will show up. Doug, I don't think is going to be that hard of it. Like, I think Doug will attend.
Yeah.
Will he participate in this? I think he knows that we're not going to be clowning anyone. It's just a fun thing. I think he'd be interested in being a part of it.
Good.
I'm going to reach out to him actually tonight.
All right, sweet. So hopefully we can put that JoJo dating game together where she will either pick Doug, who is JP's friend, who she's had a little bit of a thing with, or Dizzy's cousin, JoJo, who she's got a little bit of a thing with, or a potential third suitor who she has not had, or 2 more suitors.
Yeah, because you're picking one. I'm picking one.
Oh, yeah, deal. So 2 more potential suitors. Who will she pick? We'll find out at the Bone Beach Bash. Again, on Friday, it's going to be awesome because the shows are all broadcasting. I was listening to JP. That show is supposed to be broadcasting as well, right?
Yeah, they kick it off.
Is he going to be, because didn't he say he's doing the morning show on Friday? Is he going to be here already?
Yeah, he'll be doing it from here like he does when
Gotcha.
yeah. So they what's her face? Amy's old.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, damn, is this dude gonna get off the air on 9 or 10 and try to make it to Tampa it wasn't making sense. So so he'll be here already on Friday morning.
I think he's out of town somewhere else, then flies to Tampa, then flies to New York. Like, he's all over the place that weekend.
He will be ready for a nap by the time he gets there. I want to dig into this Kevin Costner story and a list of deaths and scary occurrences that happened on the set of movies before we make way for John's Joints in a couple minutes. But this person's been holding. Who's this?
Hey, John, it's Steve, man. I just want to say, man, I'm glad you're on the air today. I heard the beginning of the show, and, man, that's some scary stuff. Buddy.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And we'll probably reset it a little bit for anybody that wasn't here, too. Probably a little bit with Drew in a little bit, just to kind of keep people in the loop that don't know exactly what's going on. But, yeah, it's been a wild debacle, and all I can hope is that the worst of it's over. But I appreciate you saying that.
It's not one of them funny amoebas or anything, is it?
Hopefully not. I mean, that was so I started thinking, thank you for the call. That's what I started thinking about because, because they said, and I don't know if I really covered this, they were like, we don't think that this whole thing could just be from getting a little bit of water in your ear on Monday. Like, this is probably something that was already working its way. So I started thinking when I posted the thing about the amoeba, half joking, my thought is, I was on that fishing trip. In that last day, we were at the sandbar, and I'm snorkeling around. No, I didn't have a snorkel, but I'm swimming around underwater and swimming in all sorts of places I'd never been. So, of course, a little bit of paranoia in me is like,
mine starts to wander.
Hopefully I didn't get something, which nobody officially has said that. So let's hope that's not on the table, and let's also hope that tomorrow is a turning point. I had this in the joints all last week, and we never got a chance to get to it. Kevin Costner is being sued by a stunt performer from the set of Horizon 2. This is insane, and I don't know how it can even happen on a movie set in the year 2025, who claims she was put in an unscripted rape scene without warning or proper filming safety protocols. calls.
I don't believe that.
Devin Labella, I kind of feel the same way. She filed a lawsuit last week against the Horizon Series production company and Kevin Costner. The violent, unscripted, unscheduled rape scene unfolded during filming in Utah in May of 2023. Labella said the scene filled her with shame, upended her career, and left her reeling with permanent trauma. This, by the way, I didn't give it much of a try. I went through that phase where I was like super into Westerns. So I tried The Horizon, which I think is like a 4-hour movie, and it's only one part of it. I made it like 30 minutes into it. It was the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's going to be a 4-part series.
Oh my God.
An attorney for Costner said in a statement that Labella's claims have absolutely no merit and is completely contradicted by her own actions. As a stunt performer on Horizon 2, the scene in question was explained to Miss Labella after she performed the rehearsal in character with another actor. She gave her stunt coordinator supervisor a thumbs up and indicated her willingness to then shoot the scene if needed, which she was not. According to the attorney, attorneys for her said the lawsuit seeks to address the continued failures at the highest level of Hollywood production companies and the need for intimacy coordination. The Horizon series and Territory Pictures not immediately speaking out. In her role, Miss Labella's job was to step in for the actor during physical scenes and to perform the stunt while cameras were rolling. Such scenes are usually rehearsed and choreographed. For the first few weeks in spring, she performed her stunts without incident. Then she says things changed drastically. She learned that Costner had requested an additional scene not on the call sheet in which an actor, Roger Ivins, was to climb on top of her and violently hike up her skirt, simulating a grape scene. The scene was not specified for the day. No closed set was specified. No arrangements were made with the set's intimacy coordinator to be present during the filming.
And that's where I was going to get at is they have a thing called, what you just said, an intimacy coordinator. That's basically the middleman between the directors, the actor, the actresses, whoever's involved, where they go, hey, are you good with this? What can we do to make this better but make you feel safe? Like, they have that. And especially after, I think, the Me Too movement.
The Me Too thing.
It was almost required on every set.
And I think it is. And I don't, it would seem crazy that somebody would just make it up. Maybe she didn't know how bad it was going to be. She said she was not warned about the sexual nature of the scene, which she learned about when the actor was already on top of her in a wagon and violently pulled up her skirt, adding Costner was fully in charge of directing the action and the scene without proper notice, consent, preparation, or appropriate safeguard measures in place, such as the project's intimacy coordinator. The defendant, Costner, directed Mr. Evans to repeatedly perform a violent simulated grape on Miss Labella, according to the complaint. This has all the makings of something that will probably be settled out of court. So they'll probably just have to pay the lady. And it wasn't directly connected, but I saw the list this morning on one of our prep services. 26 famous actors who were killed, kidnapped, or otherwise seriously traumatized on movie sets. And dude, some of these I was blown away that I had never heard of before in my entire life. One of the first ones, Brendan Fraser, was almost killed on the scene or during a scene of The Mummy. I guess he almost was hung in a hanging scene. I was standing on my toes with the rope around my neck, and it can only go so far. He said, hey, it doesn't really choking. Can you sell it? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. One more take. I was stuck on my toes. I had nowhere to go. And so the crew member operating the rope was pulling up and I was going down. And the next thing you know, my elbow was in my ear. The world was sideways. There was gravel in my teeth and everything started going very quiet. He ended up having to be pulled down. And I guess he lost consciousness for a period of time. Dude,
Brendan Fraser, first of all, underrated action star.
One of the... I hope you know this movie because it's one of my favorites and one of the most underrated movies ever. You ever see Blast from the Past?
Sounds familiar. It's like an old 90s movie. I
want to make sure I'm saying it right. 99. And Brendan Fraser, at his peak Brendan Fraser with Alicia Silverstone. And the premise is when he's a kid, his dad is Christopher Walken, and they're worried about the Cuban Missile Crisis, I think. So they think a missile is coming. So his dad, the family, had created a bomb shelter to go live in if they needed to. And it was like a whole home underneath there.
Yeah, it's like a fallout shelter.
Yeah, so they go down in there, and then they don't come out for like 30 years. And they send their son, who is now fully grown, Brendan Fraser, to enter the world of 1999 as a kid who's only known like the 50s or 60s. And it's a great, great movie. I think Brendan Fraser is criminally. He's kind of getting his flowers now, though.
Yes,
he did the Whale movie, and that seemed to bring him back.
He didn't get a lot of credit the way Jackie did, but from what I understand, he did most of his stunts.
Yeah,
and he got effed up on the Mummy franchise because he'd break his back, he'd tear things here. He almost hung.
We might have to pepper in some of these as the week goes on, just so we can stay on time. But dude, I don't know if I say this enough. Titanic is one of my favorite movies ever.
No,
I
never knew that.
I
about
love
you.
Titanic.
Really?
If it's on, I will watch it. It is something about like to me.
It's a love story.
And the thing is, I unabashedly think that I hate chick flicks, but if you get the right chick flick in front of me, I'm sucked in. Like I can be into a chick flick. So you've essentially got the greatest love story chick flick ever for the first half of the movie, and then it turns into a chaotic filled action
survival
film for the second half, which is right up my alley as well. But this is insane. During Titanic's final shooting day in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, tens of cast and crew members were unwittingly drugged when they ate chowder that was spiked with PCP. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet weren't on set that day, but Bill Paxton, R.I.P., was among those poisoned. During a recent interview, James Cameron said, "This is 100% a true story. You haven't lived until you've been high on PCP," which, by the way, I do not recommend to anyone. That is an insane story that probably doesn't get told enough about the history and the lineage of Titanic. One more. I love the Now You See Me movies. You see the?
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know a lot of these because whenever I watch a movie, I usually go on IMDb and I look up the trivia, and they always have weird stuff like this.
So I think they're doing. I forget who's in it. I want to say it's one of my faves, Andrew Santino. I think is going to have a major part in the new. There's another Now You See Me coming out.
Yeah, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. They're finally going.
Will be 3 or 4.
3.
While filming the water tank magic trick in Now You See Me, Isla Fisher, she's the hot redhead, almost drowned because her release chain got caught in her clothing. She said in an interview, "I was actually drowning. Everyone thought I was acting fabulously. No one realized I was actually struggling. Who wants to die in a swimming costume?" It's so crazy. I mean, you would think, kind of going back to the grape thing, you would think, and I know some of these go back to the 90s, things weren't as buttoned up, but I would just suspect that there are so many things in place that ensure that stuff like this cannot happen. And what do you know? They seem to happen.
Yeah, Frank, Danny DeVito on It's Always Sunny, he almost drowned too.
What was going on there?
The TV show, basically, they were doing a scene where they all had to basically, we're drown here, so we're gonna go to the bottom and hold hands. He couldn't stay down because of his weight and stuff. He was so buoyant, so they had to weigh him down, and they all went up to the top, and they forgot about him, and he was just drowning for a while,
dude.
And he left set pissed as you could be.
Well, and then there's been there was the Rust movie where Baldwin killed the lady.
Yep.
And then there's Brandon Lee is another famous one who was killed on the
Twilight.
Somebody was that another one?
Yeah, Twilight. You didn't know that? The Twilight movie?
No.
I think it was the main actor and 2 Asian girls, because I've never seen the movie, but apparently he was like running through this like river, and this helicopter is supposed to come and like propel near the water, and it got them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, it can happen. I mean, I guess you're doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Not everybody's like Tom Cruise who can do it all and stay alive. We'll pepper in a couple more of these as the week goes on. But do not go anywhere. Next, Drew Garabo joins us. We're going to dip into John's Joints. Lots to get to. And I want to kind of do a segment inside of a segment that I want to try and make a thing. Next Door Narc. It's become a theme around here. I've got some stuff in the neighborhood that I'm not always happy about. Dizzy has recently joined the crew. He's looking to get on Nextdoor apps and narc on some neighbors. Is this worth a Nextdoor narc? We'll also touch on the wild terror attack that took place out in Boulder, Colorado. All that and much more coming up next in John's Joints with Drew Garabo. Spring has sprung, and you know what that means. It's officially moving season, a time filled with hours of packing, unpacking, and all that bubble wrap. But the thing you should do when moving into your new home is make sure that your Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity. It's super quick, and it's easy to set up, and then, boom, you'll have your new home hooked up with the ultimate Wi-Fi experience faster than the time it takes to parallel park a moving truck. Then you'll be back online with the most reliable Wi-Fi in the biz, so you can just kick back, relax, and stream your favorite movies and TV shows while someone else deals with all those boxes. There is something so magical about getting your cable on in a new home. Because with Xfinity, the only thing you'll have to worry about is remembering where you pack the remote. Make the right and easy move with Xfinity. You can learn more right now at Xfinity.com/move. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi claim based on Open Signal Awards and USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report from August 2024. Xfinity.com/move today. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Breaking summer news. All the rooms at the Sky Beach Resort for the Bone Summer Beach Bash are completely sold out. But good news, you can still come out and party for free. Neutral presents the Bone Summer Beach Bash. An entire weekend of awesome events and hanging out with all your favorite people from the Bone. Plus, it's absolutely free to get in. It's all happening July 18th through the 20th at the beautiful Sky Beach Resort in St. Pete, a bayfront oasis with a private beach at the southernmost tip of St. Petersburg in the Skyway District. No matter what you do, don't miss the Bone Summer Beach Bash. Presented by Neutral and 102.5 The Bone. Real, raw summer.
If you ever need our help, we're just a call away. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
It's IDC's most anticipated event of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. That's right. High interest rates have been put on hold at International Diamond Center. Now through June, you can make any purchase and spread your payments out to 2030 without paying a dime in interest. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, and our largest selection ever of certified hand-picked diamonds and exclusive designer fashion jewelry. Pick any item, celebrate your love, get the value price you deserve, then spread your payments over 5 years. That $6,000 pair of diamond earrings is just $100 a month. That $12,000 engagement ring is just $200 a month. Everything's affordable with this amazing offer. 0 interest all the way to 2030. There's just one catch. This is a limited time offer just for the month of June. So don't wait. Let IDC help you get the jewelry you've been dreaming of at a price and payment you didn't think was possible anymore. International Diamond Center in Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota. Excludes Rolex. Details and more at shopidc.com on approved credit.
John Senning here for the National Aviation Academy. Are you sick and tired of working from home? Are you in a career that is boring you? Well, how about entering the world of aviation maintenance and being trained where you're getting your hands dirty on engines of jets and planes, things you could never fathom? Well, that's what happens at the NAA here in beautiful Clearwater. They're going to have you trained in just a few months and entering the workforce before you know it. The next class starts July 9th, so make that decision today and visit them at naa.edu.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through June 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now with Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Time marches on, and a lot has changed. But one thing has not changed. Washington regulations on local stations. Regulations that make it tough for local TV and radio stations to compete with global big tech platforms. If you want to keep local news, weather, and live sports on TV and radio, we need updated regulations. Tell Washington to modernize the rules to help local stations compete. Learn more at nab.org/modernize the rules. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
I'm honored by the number of referrals that Bernetti PA gets from others in our legal profession. We have represented clients referred to us by other law firms and even represented judges. They've called us. Why shouldn't you? Call 1-800-BURNETTI. We're ready. Offices Tampa, Lakeland, Pinellas.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Tampa.
This hour of Senning Show is brought to you by Hawkins Service Co. One call handles it all.
1025 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 1073 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. It's time for John's Choice with your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. 3 o'clock every afternoon. We light up the joints of the day. That is the news. Sometimes some personal stuff. Sometimes some not so cool stuff. But we try to keep it light. I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. And the only man that can help us fire it up is the smoking one himself, Sugar Rabo.
What's up, John Senning? It is.
Oh, man.
How you feeling, dude?
I'm okay. I don't know if I mentioned you by name earlier, but obviously thank you to you who was very in touch over the weekend and constantly checking on me in my unforeseen
How could I not? I was ready to head back from Sanford, and Sarah said, "Screw that guy."
Yeah.
We're here to have fun.
I know she did. Yeah,
you know her.
Yeah, she did. Sarah told me that, I'm sorry, Danielle told me that Sarah hit her up, was like, Drew wants to come back.
Yeah.
But I said no way.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. It's just like that's a typical Birdie response.
I know. That's why we get along so well. We're opposites attract.
Yeah.
You know?
You're the sweethearted, kind soul. And
Boom.
She's just dark inside.
Heartless.
And that's a joke, by the way. The sweetest human being on earth.
Oh, couldn't be any less true.
But yeah, it was just a debacle, dude. Damn. The thing was it just escalated so quickly. And I think I don't know if it was denial because I was like living it. So obviously I knew that like how I felt. And I was simultaneously telling Danielle on Saturday morning, I'm not going. I'm not going, while going, this is the worst thing I've ever, like the physical pain of it and just the feeling was so bad that I think I was, I wasn't giving her a very good message for not going. But thank God she forced my hand. And I will say, dude, I know that, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I'm literally Googling every emergency room. And I will say, I don't know if it's just emergency rooms in general. It's hard to find an emergency room that has a rating over 2.1 in the Tampa Bay area. Because I saw one person they were talking about St. Anthony's, and they said, do yourself a favor and make the trip over the bridge to TGH. And I think St. Anthony's had like a 2.5 star review. So I'm like, we might have to make the trip over the bridge to TGH. I just read a review. So then I look up TGH 2.1 review on the ER. They're like, you're better going to Sarasota. So thank God I went to that standalone ER, which did land me with an ambulance ride, which was
free though, right?
That's
what I heard earlier.
Well, and that was the thing. It wasn't my first concern. Well, I was just like, well, we can drive over there. You know, and I'm just like, well, he was like, well, we really don't want to take you off this IV, and if you drive over there, you're gonna have to check in, and you may have to wait and stuff. He goes, if you go in this ambulance, it's free because we're attached to the hotel or to the hospital, and then they're gonna wheel you right into your room. But when they're like, can you walk? They're like, the ambulance people come out. They're like, can you walk? I'm like, yes, I can walk. So then they're like, okay, we'll get in the stretcher. I'm like, can I walk to the ambulance? They're like, no, if you're riding the ambulance, you got to be in the stretcher. So then they start, Dizzy said it best, Hannibal Lecter style, like start strapping me in. I go, did they tell you something about me? Like,
he's a threat.
Yeah, they're like, no, these are your seat belts. It gets a little bumpy back there. And that was my first time in an ambulance, which was, and then we get out. So we get out of it, and we were parked. It was funny because I heard the ambulance drivers having like a little bit of a disagreement. She was like, "Why'd you park so far away?"
Oh.
He goes, "This is where I always park." Yeah. So then they wheel me down, and I can tell we've got to like go far across this parking lot. And I go, "Can I get out of this thing? Like, it feels wrong to have you guys pushing my big ass around in this stretcher." And he goes, "Maybe I might let you, but our supervisor is sitting in that car right there, and this is protocol. So you have to stay in the stretcher." So they wheeled me all across the parking lot, up through it, and I don't know. I just always am used to waiting. I don't think it had anything. I don't know if it had anything to do with what they were concerned with or the situation, but I was blown away that I was in that room for like 30 seconds before there were 2 doctors in there, and they were like 5 different antibiotics in the IV. They're putting steroids in me. They're like, "You are in pain." They're giving me morphine and Percocet, and the lasagna came shortly after. The thing was, I don't know if I shared that with you, but I've been secretly craving like that. I felt like was the universe's gift to me in that moment because I was just bummed out. Like I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I was spending the night in the hotel or in the hospital, not a hotel. And when the lasagna showed up, I was like, this is the universe telling me everything's going to be okay. And hopefully everything is going to be okay. Tomorrow morning we'll be telling, but just insane.
When you messaged me that you were on the verge of potentially getting devastating news, that's when it really that's when my level of concern went from mildly concerned to extremely concerned.
Well, and that was the thing is that, and again, I don't think we really have the answers yet. There were 2 doctors who, which one do you go with? Probably the ENT. Hopefully that would be the right thing to do. But the first doctor came in and was like, "Yeah, we saw your MRI and, the reports on it are not good. Like there are signs that this infection is in your bone and possibly some stuff even worse than that." And then when the ENT guy came in, he was like, "I don't see that." Like they're speculating what can't be seen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's pretty much saying, based on the fact that you don't have a fever and that you aren't like actively dying before my eyes, if this was that bad, we'd be seeing more. So pretty much I'm just taking a bunch of medicine so that they can actually get in there and figure out what the hell's going on. So,
well, our good Dr. Yavalo, Mr. Friendly and Outgoing himself, will take care of you tomorrow.
I know they will. So hopefully I'm just hoping he gets that little suck gun in there.
Oh, that suck gun, something else.
Suck it all up.
Sucks out. Just suck me. It's good. It's all I can really hope for.
Dude, I've never ridden in an ambulance either. I was thinking about it when I was here. Yeah, it was I think it's like 10 years to the day that Xander had to ride in one when he broke his arm. It was like yesterday, but I followed behind. His mom was in the ambulance with him, and I followed behind. I don't think I've ever ridden in one.
Yeah, it's I'd like to tell you that it's fun. I don't know that I wanted to be able to enjoy it, but just shock was the only thing going through me. Is I'm like I didn't even want to go. I'm thinking they're going to be like, because I had already had I was on meds, so I thought they're going to be like, "You got the medicine, just go home and take it."
How long was the ride?
Not too long. So it's over by Gandy, in the Wawa area over there, towards Pinellas Park, and then we went. It's like right across from All Children's is where the Bayfront was. So I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes.
Must be awkward trying to have a conversation strapped down.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And God loved everybody because I really am blown away by the whole, was just blown away at the niceness of people and how good the process was. But the one thing is that nobody understood, because on that day specifically, could not hear, literally was deaf. I not kind of deaf, couldn't hear, couldn't sort of hear, I couldn't hear. And as soon as I saw anybody, I would go, "I can't hear." And then everybody would just be talking to me. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I cannot hear anything. So we're in the back of the ambulance, and she's got everybody's asking you a million questions.
Of course.
So many. I know you just got to do it. But every person that you come in contact with, from the emergency room to the ambulance to back to the hospital, the same line of questioning immediately. Are you safe at home? Do you feel safe at home?
Yep.
Do you feel like you want to harm yourself?
Right.
An entire line of questioning like that. And the second one was, are you an alcoholic? Or do you drink? And I'm like, so the first time they asked me, the first time they asked me, they were like, "Do you drink alcohol?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, how often do you drink alcohol?" I'm like, "I'm pretty much just on the weekends." Is there any chance that you're going to be in detox? I'm like, no, it's not that.
Wow.
So I think they're worried that you're going to go into like fiending for a drink, and they're gonna have to deal with that too.
Oh man!
But I gotta say, you text me and said the morphine is a lifesaver, and that is I've never been on it, dude. When it hits you, it is like it starts right in the middle of your chest, and it just permeates through your entire body. And it was funny, not funny, because she came over, like she gives me the morphine shot, and then she comes over and she was like trying to adjust the bed. She goes, "Oh, I think you're a little high." And I was like, "In more ways than one." And she goes, "Yeah, I can tell because your tongue's hanging out your mouth." And
that's great.
Yeah, so that was, thank God though, because it's such a weird thing. And this is just in my own head. I feel like if you start asking for heavy duty pain medicine, it's like a weird vibe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I probably at that state was wrong for it. So they finally asked me for the first time, I think when I got in the hospital, like, what's your pain? And I'm like, right now it's probably about an 8. And they were like, yeah, that's what we figured. We've already ordered the morphine for you. And at that point I was like, thank God. So it was morphine every 4 hours.
Did you get a drip? Like, did you get to do it
I didn't
yourself?
get to do it myself. It was just 4 hours, which, trust me, I had my eye on the clock when I'm like, you just hit that little button on the ringer. It just says pain button.
Yeah.
And they would come in and get me, which the pain was the worst the first day. But, it was just a crazy set of circumstances that I did not foresee happening. And hopefully things are going to be better from now.
They will.
How was Sanford, though? How was the...
That was great.
Dude, that is something that I've wanted to make it out to forever. Normally, I think it's on... What's the holiday that just passed? Memorial Day?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's on Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
This time it was a little bit later. Good crowd in Sanford?
Yeah, really good crowd. Great people. We met some interesting people from around the country. Some lady flew all the way from Denver just for this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So supervillains are obviously Dom puts the whole thing together, and it's very supervillain centric.
Yeah.
Are they considered the headliner, or would there have been another band that was like the headliner?
I think them and Mad Caddies, an old school ska band, would be considered the headliners. But a whole bunch of I can't say enough about Wolfface. I know those guys live here locally.
They're from Tampa.
Yeah. One of them's an attorney. I don't want to give away too much, but
and they're all in Teen Wolf garb, like they're in the Teen Wolf basketball wolf face garb, right?
And all of their songs are written about Teen Wolf. Like, I want to be.
It's all originals.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you would close your eyes and go, "That's an amazing pop punk band. They're so good." And then you open your eyes, and they're all dressed as Scott Howard from Teen Wolf in the basketball outfit. Dude, they ripped it up. They were so good.
Dude, when I saw your videos, it really reminded me how much I love Teen Wolf. Like when I was young, that first was the first one. Michael J. Fox only did one, right?
Yeah, Jason Bateman did the second.
Yeah. But that first one specifically, when they're surfing on top of the car,
urban surfing,
like that was. Dude, I just love that.
Yeah.
I love that, and I don't have enough credit for Teen Wolf in my life.
Well, you'll love them, and they are opening for Supervillains here at Janus.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
When is that?
July 20-something. It's a Friday, I believe. That is going to be a ripper of a show.
It feels like, and I haven't been there, but just based off everything you said and what other people have said, Sanford has kind of created a little mini downtown scene over there, huh?
There's nothing mini about it. It is a total scene. They had 4 separate stages for
So the streets are just all shut down for it?
Shut down the streets, all the vendors and everything. It's a legit fest, and Sanford's a scene. They got Hollerback's German cuisine with like an accordion player.
I saw you post. I'm like, are those guys playing the Hurricane Party?
What a blast, man!
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. I was very concerned about you, but I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad you got lasagna.
Yeah, thank you. Lasagna and the breakfast and the pot roast. I have to say, my late night turkey sandwiches. They took
2 of them.
They took great care of me. And, yeah. John's Joints brought to you by Bubble Down Car Wash. You know those long wash tunnels I love talking about? Those aren't just for fun, so you have a sweet ride. Those are going to mean your car gets cleaner. The spacious vacuum areas are perfect to get all the little baby hair out of all the nooks and crannies in the bottom of your car without bumping into your neighbor, because nothing feels better than a clean car. And they've got locations in Tampa, Brandon, Riverview, Wesley Chapel, and Palm Harbor. The unlimited plan is the way to go, because if you like keeping your car clean, you can go through as many times as your little heart desires. The staff is always going to take amazing care of you, make sure every little detail is covered. Get into your local Bubble Down today. You will have the cleanest car in town every time you bubble down. This is absolutely insane, and just another example of the world of social media and everybody having a camera, because you feel like you're almost watching a TV show with some of the things that happen in our world. And when I first started seeing the videos of this, it's so insane. You can't believe it's real. A hate-fueled madman launched a targeted terror attack in Colorado yesterday, setting at least one woman on fire and injuring 8 total as he screamed "Free Palestine" and used a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails against a crowd commemorating Israeli hostages still in Gaza. Video footage captured the alleged attacker, whom FBI officials have identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, in the middle of a tirade about Palestine.
Palestine.
Yeah, sorry. Just a little brain flow. And calling for Tating Chanum. And for deaths to Zionists before he tossed the homemade device. "They are killers. How many children you killed?" shouted the shirtless man who was reportedly in the country illegally. "End Zionists," he can be heard yelling. 8 victims between 52 and 88 were hospitalized with varying injuries. Boulder police and FBI Denver special agent saying in a statement. This on the heels of that other shooting. I mean, when do we say there's a trend here? I mean, we're probably well past that, right?
We are. Is that a clean shoot if you see a shirtless dude with he's got a can of alcohol in each hand and he's yelling "Free Palestine"? He hasn't yet lit an incendiary device and thrown it.
You want to know, this is absolutely insane to say, and I'm not just trying to make a political statement. It might not be in Boulder, Colorado. You know what I mean? If that happens in Florida, absolutely. I don't know, just from a straight up legal perspective, how clean of a clean shoot things are in a state like Denver, in a situation like that. You would imagine with imminent danger that there could have been a clean shoot, but you also have to imagine there are less people with we always hear about the good guys with guns.
Right.
I would think there are less of those compared to a place like Florida or Texas or other spots where a guy would be strapped up almost everywhere.
If you are a Jewish American and you have a commemorative walk like they had in Denver, but you're doing it in Florida, absolutely come strapped. And if you see anybody yelling "from the river to the sea" or "Free Palestine" and they've got items that could be weapons in their hands, you take them down.
You've got to. This is I haven't listened to this yet, but it just came across testimony from an eyewitness that was on the scene here.
Yeah. So the way it all happened was at the time I was eating lunch with my wife, my 4 and 2-year-old, and then my teenage niece and nephew who are in Florida.
Yeah.
And
sounds like a bone caller.
Pristine details. The recessional or whatever you want to call it, had passed us, and then just about 5 to 10 minutes later, there was a woman who was running by us, saying that there was a man that was throwing fire at people. And I'm familiar with the event. I'm Jewish myself. I've never attended any one of these events that happen all across the country, just simply due to the fear of something like this actually happening. But I'm very well familiar with how they run and all the people around them and all that kind of stuff. So my immediate thought was to kind of just jump the fence and go see if there's anything I could do or see if there's anything I could do to help or anything like that. And so I left my one toddler that was with us at the time with my niece and nephew, ran there. I went up to
I'm going to skip a second.
The other guy was kind of de-escalating everything. I wanted to make sure I got this guy on camera, just because in case he tried to run for it before the police got there, I wanted to make sure that we could actually identify him. Then I started hearing people talk about how, where the police.
So there's a quote here, and it's a 6-minute clip, so we might not get to it at the time. He was describing what he saw, and he talks about I believe a woman, his leg from ankle to the foot all the way up to his buttocks was completely melted off. His skin was melted. And I mean, an absolutely insane person, in something that bad things happen in this country all the time. But, with these geopolitical almost situation unfolding, and to see it hitting the streets here in America is pretty damn scary. And I don't know what you do to qualm it all. You know what I mean? Like, there doesn't really seem like anything is happening in real time that is calming things down. I think Donald Trump has spoke out a little bit lately and said we need to do something for Gaza. We need to get food in there. These people are starving and dying. But I don't know what it's going to take to make these people specifically feel like this country is doing enough for Palestine and for Gaza to not be setting people on fire in the streets.
Did I see correctly that one of the ladies who got severely burned was a Holocaust
survivor?
Jesus Christ, man.
Dude, I mean, mind blowing doesn't even do it justice. Like it doesn't even like to think that you lived through that and that on an American street in a place like Boulder, Colorado, which I would imagine for the most part is a peaceful hippie mountain town. I've been there before. In the street in Boulder, Colorado is where you're attacked with a flamethrower at your old age after living through the Holocaust and then just living through life for all of these years. It's just a bad thing to be seeing happen in this country. And I just hope that if it is a trend, it's coming to a stop sooner than later.
Yeah, that dude shouldn't have been in this country anyway.
That's the thing. And I mean, it's
sorry, not sorry.
I mean, it is. And it's so everything is so politically tinged where it's like, I saw a headline this morning. It was like, Biden let this guy in. Now, he was the president. It all stops with him. But, like, I don't think he checked in with Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to say that Joe Biden had a tight immigration policy.
Right.
But also, I don't know. It's just like check all of the boxes of political rhetoric that you can. It's all tinged with it. And it's just not a great sign of the times. That's really all there is to it.
Yeah, plus how many millions of Americans have overstayed their travel visa and are in this country just peacefully, you know?
Yeah. I saw... What did I see? If I have it, I saw that they're starting to they've gone into a couple schools now and taking students.
That's a bad
which
look.
I gotta say,
the Ecuadorian guy who's pretending to be a student in the high
there was
school.
somebody else.
Oh, there was another one?
There was an actual student. And you want to know what's crazy? And I'll take an L when I take an L. I remember right when the ICE thing started and they're like, oh, they're coming into your school. They're going to come into schools. And I'm like, I don't really think that's going to happen.
It's happening.
It seems like it's starting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how community members of Milford, Massachusetts, an athlete, a musician, an exceptional high school student with an infectious smile. This is how community members in Milford, Massachusetts describe Marcelo Gomez da Silva, an 18-year-old high school junior who was arrested by ICE and sent to a detention center this weekend. He was driving. They didn't go into the school, but he was driving his father's car on his way to volleyball practice with his teammates when immigration authorities stopped him. So, I mean, maybe it's just a little hot pocket of stories like this. But last week we had 100 dudes off a job site getting yoked up.
Yep.
Now we've got them at least 2 different instances where they're in school. So I think that it's just the bad guys thing is probably that era is over, and now it's just going to be anybody who's here illegally. They're coming to get.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do about it because it's not right that certain people did come here legally and certain people didn't. But to yoke someone out of a classroom,
yeah, it's crazy. We're living in the craziest of times. That's
we
all
are,
there is
my
to
friend.
It. I promise on the backside of the joints, I'm heavy loading you with tear on the front, but on the backside we're going to keep it a little bit lighter. Some stories just hit extra hard when it comes to rage-inducing, and I've seen people sharing this, and I saw the comments on the Facebook page, and I don't know in recent memory if I've seen one that had so many comments that just said, we got to kill this guy. This guy's got to die immediately, and I don't know that I don't co-sign on it. A Clearwater man has been arrested following a nearly year-long investigation into allegations that he sexually battered an 8-year-old boy. Bobby McAfee was taken into custody on May 30th after Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said he ultimately admitted to having sexual contact with the victim. He also admitted to being HIV positive, something which officials said the victim is now faced with, recently learning he is now HIV positive.
Good Lord.
Deputies said the victim reported the sexual battery to them on August 23rd, 2024. Detectives learned McAfee, it's no need to share the details. He did what he did to this kid. It's absolutely horrific. McAfee has been charged with 1 count of sexual battery of a child less than 12 years old and was taken to the Pinellas County Jail. The thing that wasn't specified in the charges, and I don't know how you do it, but I know that there is a charge amongst adults where if you don't disclose the fact that you have HIV, you then can be charged with that.
Yep.
How that with an unwilling participant even isn't a way more like a further charge doing out there, not only putting the mental trauma and physical abuse on, but setting this kid up for a lifelong of health issues and God knows what. I would like to think that at some point an additional charge gets added for the fact that he infected this kid with HIV.
Yeah, I believe that would have to be an enhancement of charge.
Well, and you hear like there's been discussions, and I think they even passed through some legislation about the death penalty for certain predators and pedophiles and things like this. If this isn't as prime and at the top of the list of people that you'd like to see an expedited trial and death penalty for, I don't know what the hell does, because that is a type of evil that I don't think most human minds can even comprehend.
Well, listen, here's an uplifting story. How about what the Ukraine did to Russia?
Dude,
that is crazy, right?
Actually, since you brought it up, I do have it here, and I don't want to say that it's lighter. Dude, they're calling it a Pearl Harbor-like attack. Ukraine was able to carry out a stunning Operation Spiderweb attack on Russian air bases on their fleet by hiding explosive-laden drones in wooden sheds. Kiev's Secret Service stashed the attack drones in the roofs of the sheds, which were loaded onto the trucks that were driven to the perimeter of the airbase. Ukrainian authorities revealed in a statement shared on social media, the roof panels were then lifted off by a remotely activated device so that 117 drones used in the strikes could fly out and make their devastating attacks. At the right moment, the roofs of the houses were remotely opened and the drones flew to hit Russian bombers. The dramatic and carefully planned Sunday assault took Russian President Vladimir Putin and his forces completely off guard. Some of 34% of Russia's Tu-95 bombers clipped with nukes were reportedly wiped out in the raids on 5 air bases across the country. A total of 41 Russian airplanes were hit in the strikes, causing an eye-watering $7 billion in damage.
That is huge. You know when you have the fan in your bathroom where you like flip it up and it like makes your window or your mirror less foggy?
Oh no.
Oh,
we
did it home.
Just the fart fan or another fan?
Yeah, no, the fart fan.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I would try to hit that middle switch with my towel when I got out of the shower, and if I got it, I was like, hot diggity damn, this is on it. Like this is the type of coordination that I've always wanted.
And obviously you get on social media any given day, and WW3 is trending and people want to talk about it, and it seems that the love affair that people like to display with Trump and Putin isn't quite as warm. He said he's crazy. He said he's gone crazy, and the problem is there's a moment to pump your fist and go, yeah, one for the good guys, but they have so much more power and they have nukes, so they don't seem like the type, and he doesn't seem like the type that's going to take kindly to kind of being made a fool of. It seems like this is one of the biggest attacks that Ukraine has been able to put during a time where I think a lot of people are under the impression that we're trying to get to a ceasefire and trying to see some sort of peace. So as great as it is to see the good guys pull off a secretive attack, what's the clapback? Yeah. And I don't think we quite know yet.
They Trojan horse them.
Yeah, they
definitely did. They totally did with sheds, sheds with remote roofs.
Dude, imagine the Russians looking up at all those drones like taking off out of the roofs of those sheds
and just not even knowing. I promise you, the backside of the joints, much friendlier, much more peaceful. Yeah. We're going to do a first time in the joints next door narc. It's a neighborhood situation, and we're going to try and decide if it's okay to narc or not okay. If I may steal a couple words from my good friend Drew Garabo.
You may.
We'll do that, and we got tainted gummy bears and a lion attack. If that doesn't bring you joy, I don't know what will. But before we take a break, we'd love to tell you about Win Derby at Derby Lane, an institution in St. Petersburg, if not in the entire state of Florida. People have been making memories there for decades. They've filmed countless blockbuster films there, and they're giving away, on average, $10,000 to $100,000 every single day.
Awesome for a big group, too. You don't want to go out to a restaurant where you got like a party of 12 and nobody can hear each other. How about you take over a nice poker table at Derby Lane, and one of you might hit that royal flush and walk out of there with a progressive jackpot worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Ultimate Texas Hold'em is their most popular game, which you might go, I don't know how to play Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Well, you do now, because they've taken it to the next level by putting in this giant mural at Win Derby at Derby Lane that explains all of the finer points of the game, what all of the hands mean. Even a novice can be a pro. Plus, they got the pie gough. They got the war. You can still bet on the ponies remotely. You're never going to have to worry about parking. They got tons of events and tournaments going on all the time. Check them out online at win-derby.com. That's win-derby.com.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Stream Real Raw Radio live anytime on the free 102.5 The Bone app. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah and Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
In St. Pete, there's been some flooding along I-175 in both directions near the 5th and 6th Avenue North exit and entrance. There's an accident clearing along 38th Avenue North just to the west of 16th Street. Up to the north of Palm Harbor, alternate 19's been closed southbound from a bad crash between Alderman and Klosterman. Across the bay in Plant City, we have a record road blockage along State Road 60 to the west of the James Redmond Parkway. This is Jim with traffic.
At Advent Health, we know the heart. We've mapped it, modeled it, repaired it, and rehabbed it. We've screened it, strengthened it, and saved it. We know your heart. And we know there's an unstoppable human spirit at the center of it. Learn more about whole person care and find nationally recognized heart care specialists at floridaheartexperts.com.
The old saying, you get what you pay for, still holds true today. Like when air conditioning companies offer you $29 tune-ups. Really? I'm not going to be fooled by that, and you shouldn't be either. Hi, I'm Zach Moskowitz, president of Cox Heating and Air Conditioning. Those so-called deals lure you into spending a lot more. At Cox Heating and Air Conditioning, we have a real honest solution. It's our Cox Personalized Maintenance Plan. For only $110 for first-time customers, our certified technicians visit your home twice a year and keep you cool. Get your Cox Personalized Maintenance Plan today at coxair.com.
License number CAC 1816108.
Cox is your key to comfort since 1958.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, Drew Garabo for Pin Chasers, where you can join a summer league and get out of that awful sun and potential rain. Also, your kids can join a bowling league this summer, and they'll even get a free bowling ball. Always a great time at Bone Bowling Night every Wednesday night. One low price, $12.99, and it's all you can bowl. 4 area locations for you. 2 of them in Hillsborough proper, 1 in Brandon, and 1 in Pasco County. Go to pinchasers.net to reserve your lane or more details, pinchasers.net.
Oh, hey there. I'm John Senning. I told you I was going to do it. We are giving these away under Do Nothing Chump rules. All you have to do is be caller number 1. The lines are blocked. As soon as I open them up, be caller number 1, and you will win a pair of tickets to Night 1, Friday Night Metallica at Ray J. Call right now.
Hi, I'm Patrick Thomas.
And I'm Heather Thomas from Bolt Electric, where we believe that the right way is the only way to do home electrical.
We believe the National Electrical Code is really the minimum standard, not the maximum standard.
We believe you deserve better electrical parts and better service.
We believe in ongoing training for our electricians.
Because there's no end to learning and improving.
Because at Bolt, we believe your safety is our core priority. Electrical problem? Call Bolt.
Online at boltelectric.com.
Drinking and driving don't mix. If you've been injured by a drunk driver, we're Bernetti PA and we sue drunk drivers. We know you may not have been ready. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready. Offices Tampa, Lakeland, and Pinellas.
There's no better time for sports than the playoffs. Playoff hockey, playoff NBA, plus Major League Baseball's in full swing, and the W is back. And what makes it more exciting is when you go to Hard Rock Bet and take action on all the sports. Think you can win big? One Florida bettor turned a dollar parlay into $26,500, and you can do the same. Just download the Hard Rock Bet app or simply go to hardrock.bet. It's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 888-ADMIT-IT.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate the hassle this summer. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home and skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Ryan, said, Mark Spain Real Estate exceeded our expectations by helping us achieve significantly over our asking price. We received much more than we ever anticipated, and we cannot recommend Mark Spain Real Estate enough. I've served homeowners like you for nearly 30 years and have helped over 67,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most, a quick sale and maximum profit. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Dinner's ready. All right, is everyone here? Where's Michael? Food's getting cold.
Every day, 9 people on our Florida roadways won't make it home. Don't let it be you or someone you love.
Michael, is that you? Officer?
Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share.
Michael never made it home. Buckle up. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Ruck, run, or walk it at the 3rd Annual Sergeant Anthony Patrick Malstat's Defender Ruck on June 7th. Choose the 5K, 2.2-mile Ruck Walk, or go virtual. Every step supports military mental health and suicide prevention, plus music, food, raffles, and more. Sign up now at defenderruck.com and use the code THEBONE for $10 off.
Involved in a car accident? We understand the pressure you're under. Call Farah and Farah, Tampa.
Now, a weather update from the Sun Toyota Weather Center.
Sun, Toyota.com.
I'm Fox 13 Chief Meteorologist Paul Delgado. Somewhat unsettled weather next couple of days. Couple showers around overnight tonight. Lows in the low 70s and kind of cloudy on Tuesday with a scattering of showers and storms. Some could be heavy. Highs only in the mid-80s.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. We're in the midst of John's Joints. Guaranteed lighter back half, I promise you that.
All this attention's feeling great.
I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. That's Drew Garabo. Drew Garabo Live coming up in about 20 minutes. You don't want to miss that.
Who won those Metallica tickets, Sean?
Shout out to Hunter. Thank you for asking me that.
You're welcome.
Shout out to Hunter. I have to say, I don't know what his tactic was, but he was through probably a good 30 seconds before anybody else. So I don't know what the trick was because the lines were blocked, but shout out to Hunter who's going to night 1 of Metallica. We've got one more pair for Sunday night coming up tomorrow. And then Drew Garabo, I believe, has your Metallica tickets all week long as well. I know JP will have your last minute Metallica tickets for the Liquid Lunch at the original Hooters in Clearwater on Friday. Diz will be out there. Monica will be out there. I heard hogs will be flopping and tops will be popped from what I hear.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I don't know. JP said there's tons of men that want to have their wives come out and show their boobs. And then I heard about a limp 8 inches getting thrown on the table. So I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going to take place out there.
Yeah, we're each giving away a pass. And JP was kind of saying, maybe just someone who flashes me will get it. Right. I just said anyone who's black who shows up, you get mine.
I got it. That's fair enough. I have to say. So what are you going to do with those tickets when you can't give them away?
I can't wait to see JP at karaoke. I heard he was really excited.
Oh yeah,
about
he did say that he was making special plans to be at karaoke.
Yeah, and performing.
Yep. I heard Ebony and Ivory, and then I also heard NWA he's going to do.
Yep.
He said he's only doing it under one special circumstance.
And that's if he gets to say all the N-words?
Yep.
The
Bone Beach Bash, the rooms are sold out, but you can still come and hang with us. I heard Mike Calta say it this morning, and it is a great idea. If you're a boat person, especially one who has a boat that you can sleep in, there's still slips that you can rent for the whole weekend, so you can be camped out on your boat if you slept on the rooms.
And there's a very good chance you could have a Bone personality or 10 crashing your boat, because I heard Mike was looking for a good boat to party on.
Dude, I would love to be on some boats. And then I know you mentioned you talked to Captain Christian. You think he's going to roll through?
If we wanted to, I'll message him right now.
I think it would be so cool to just have him out there. We could go on some sunset cruises, go look at some dolphins, I'm not speaking for him, but maybe a little 420 friendly cruise in the evening time or something. I
love that idea.
It would probably be great for him just to get the word out about his business.
All right.
This has been on my mind, and I wanted to send it to you whenever I found out about it, like on Friday. Did you see Bono on with Joe Rogan? Did you listen to it on your road trip?
I did not listen to it yet, no, but I did see that he was on, and I was fascinated by it.
I am major props to Bono, because I don't know how strongly he holds his political beliefs, but it seems like him and Joe Rogan are tight. They were more than cool with each other, and they had some spirited disagreements. I think Rogan gave a little bit on some things they were talking about, because obviously Bono with the aid and the the USAID that all the money was cut from, he's got his hands way in that. So he's telling these stories of all this food that ever since they cut off these programs is just sitting in these places rotting away, just because they just cut it. So the food's there, and now there's nobody to dole it out. There was such lack of foresight, and he got Joe Rogan to straight up say they threw the baby out with the bathwater, and we have positioned ourselves, whether we like it or not, as a country that helps other people. And I personally don't think it's a bad thing. And it was I didn't hear it all, but I was interested to see initially that he said it was his dog's favorite rock star, and his big golden retriever was on the ground snuggling with Bono. And all the clips that I saw were super interesting for two guys that feel like they would be on polar opposites of everything.
They are. And one of the things I like about Bono is he is not afraid to have those discussions. He'll go with world leaders. He'll go toe-to-toe and argue with them, with Bush, with Clinton, with everybody. He's an interesting cat.
But he also doesn't seem to, for a guy who holds it so strongly and does so much in that lane, he doesn't seem to hold it personally.
No.
Like your aunt and your uncle, you're not welcome at their house for Thanksgiving anymore. But Bono, who's actually in the mix, is like, we could talk about it. We can disagree on all these things, and that's fine. Let's face the fact. People would tell you that Joe Rogan had a major hand in getting Donald Trump elected. And somebody who I believe hates Donald Trump quite a bit and everything that he stands for was able to sit down with that man and have a beyond civilized conversation, if I not say a friendship with the dude.
Yeah, I would like to see Trump and Bono sit down and talk, because I know Bono would do it. I don't know that Trump would.
Yeah, I think he might. He might. He feels like he'll sit in a room with anybody, especially if somebody like Joe Rogan feels like he's got Trump's ear. I think the right call to Trump, I think he would do it, probably.
Yeah, Bono said that they're working on a proper rock album again, which is very exciting. And he's got that Apple TV special where it's just him talking about some of the stories in his book.
I heard about that, and for 24 hours, I heard you're not going to be able to watch anything but that on Apple TV. When you log on to Apple TV, the U2 documentary will just start, and you'll have no choice but to watch it and like it.
No, he learned his lesson.
All right, so this is a new thing that I want to try out, because obviously I'm very invested in my neighborhood happenings. I've been called a Karen. I've had issues where I've wanted to say things, let people know. Diz is fairly new to this world when he's got youngins messing around in his garbage can, fires being started. He's coming to me, asking me about getting on the Nextdoor app and in his Facebook groups. So I figure when the right story pops up, we'll try something called the Nextdoor Narc, where you decide if these narcs are in the right or the wrong, because a Minnesota neighborhood is up in arms over a resident who is building a tiny home in his backyard to house homeless families.
Ew.
The controversy exploded in the city of Blaine when Alex Pepin sought a permit to build a 600-square-foot tiny home, also known as an accessory dwelling unit, on his property. And this is going to be for families who are working to get out of homelessness. He's going to ensure that they've gone through some sort of program, that's in quotes, first, adding that families would eventually find different long-term housing solutions, but the good intention from this man who runs a nonprofit to help the homeless hasn't mattered much to the surrounding neighbors. Everyone is upset. Local neighbor David Heim referenced at a city council meeting saying that the neighborhood is up in arms. Officials approved an ordinance 4 years ago that would give residents the opportunity to build the small structures in a bid for more affordable housing, but they're saying he's taking advantage of this by bringing homeless people into the neighborhood, into his backyard. And the thing for me, if you said, I want to find a family that I want to help and I want to live here.
Yeah.
It's still weird and you're still going to piss people off, but saying like the idea of it being this rotating house of homeless people, it feels like inevitably you're going to get people in this tiny house in the middle of a neighborhood that have bad intentions or are up to no good and will probably cause some discomfort for the neighbors at some point.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like you do something nice, you do a mitzvah for someone, and then they stab you to death in your sleep.
A what?
Mitzvah. It's a Jewish word, like a blessing. You do,
okay.
You do like a niceness.
And that's the thing. It circles back to the bigger conversation about what we do with the homeless, because I think that a lot of people just go, you're homeless, you bum, get it together and pick yourself up by your bootstraps. I think there should be, and for a lot of people, there's at least a little bit of pity or another set of emotions that come with realizing so many people are on the streets. But there is a line between what can we do, how can we help these people, and also my neighbor has a shed that's going to be full of homeless people, and I want them in my neighborhood. Ugh. Which if I have to say, when it comes to Narcan, if I find out that any of my lovely neighbors are letting homeless people live in their shed, I don't know who I'm calling, but I'm definitely getting on the Nextdoor app and trying to fire up the whole the community into doing something about it.
You're within your rights to do that.
Yeah, nice thing to do, but I'm 100% caring.
The intent was for families to have an option for housing, whether it be parents or in-laws or kids just trying to get their start. This is not going to bring in any revenue to the homeowner. So they're pretty much saying, we passed this law for these tiny homes thinking that it would be an affordable option for people to live, and then also it would be an option for other people to generate income for themselves. So they build a tiny home on their property. You now have affordable housing, $500 a month, whatever it may be, for these people to live in these tiny homes. Those people make money. You get people that can't afford a normal house. They get to do it. The idea was not just build a tiny home and then fill it full of homeless people. So they've paused the initiative. So he can't even, at this point, he can't even do it until they figure out whether or not they're going to let the homeless people live inside there.
Good.
So
nice idea. Well, great intentions.
Yeah.
I'd still narc you out.
Not in my neighborhood.
No.
Not on my watch.
That's nice. In rapid fire, real quick, how this happens, I do not know. Got to be the biggest gummy company, if not one of the biggest gummy companies in the world. Haribo's. Is that how you say it?
I think so. Haribo?
Haribo's.
I have no idea.
Yeah, make sure the R is hard.
Yeah, Haribo's.
There you go.
Happy Cola Fizz gummies have been recalled after cannabis has been found in samples that left several people sick.
Oh, no.
They've issued a warning as of Thursday, May 29th, that consumers, specifically in the Netherlands, and the thing is that,
of course,
there's such a popularity with foreign candies now. They believe a lot of these have made their way to the United States of America.
Hell yeah.
On Thursday, 29th, that consumers in the country should avoid buying the 1,000-gram pack of the product. A photo shared shows the soda-shaped gummies in a clear sealed package with a blue banner on the top to bottom. How in the hell does that... I know that it's just because it's fresh in my mind, but it made me think about the Tylenol murders, where it's just the chain of command of how that even happens. I don't think that they could have. I don't think somebody could have injected them with cannabis once they were already on the shelf. So this must have happened in a processing facility at some point, and then you just have a weirdo who either was making a special batch for themselves and it got put into everything else, or they just were like, wouldn't it be funny if if we got a bunch of people high.
I think it's that first part. I think someone working there was like, man, these gummies are delicious. Let's go ahead and throw the cannabis in there. And they threw the cannabis.
Why is he Jamaican?
I don't know, man.
The big Jamaican population in,
By the way,
in the Netherlands.
Who spiked the chowder? I heard you give the story earlier about the Titanic.
Same
who
guy
was
who
it
did
that
the
put the
gummies.
PCP in the chowder?
I don't think they had any answers on it.
Okay.
I don't think there was any answers on who spiked it.
What a great story.
Who spiked it? I was going to say, though, because I talked about the Tylenol murder thing last week, and then I finished it. Dude, that is like one of the greatest mysteries ever.
They don't know who was the guy.
Well, yeah, they never found out. They never found out who did it. And a lot of people, it's one of those documentaries that takes you through, like, every second you think you found out who did it. Because Johnson & Johnson, they did so much to cover it up. And what was crazy is that within 365 days of the poisonings, Johnson & Johnson got the medal of the free, whatever the big medal was, from the first from George Bush right after that happened. Oh. And all of these people believe that it actually happened there. They said they didn't have cyanide in the facility, and then it was determined they had cyanide stored 50 feet from where they were actually packing the Tylenol pills. But then they have another guy who was cellmates with the main guy that they thought did it, and he said that he admitted to him because the guy who they think did it, he had a daughter with Down syndrome, and she had some rare condition where she had to have something like in her heart and in her chest, and it failed. And she died, and that product was made by Johnson & Johnson. So he told his cellmate that he was getting back at Johnson & Johnson for what they did, and that guy has since died. I did not know that. So he's in the documentary. He died right after he filmed the documentary.
Oh, it did? I thought it was like 2022. Was that when the documentary was?
I think that's when he did the interview for it, and he died shortly thereafter. So essentially an unsolved murder.
Dude, how many parents out there have had kids affected by Johnson & Johnson and their evil ways?
It really is. These companies, you talk about too big to fail, and I think that that's one of the primest examples of a company that is so big and so ingrained like in our society that you can't beat them. Like you can never get over on them. And they said, one person in there used the analogy and said this would be the same thing as if you let a murderer investigate the person that he murdered. You know what I mean? Because they handled everything in-house, and they ended up burning, like incinerating, however many millions of dollars worth of Tylenol that were never even properly inspected. So they said, they pretty much got rid of all this evidence in their own case. So it's a crazy scenario. I'll save the lion kills businessmen at luxury resort tomorrow when he stepped out to use the toilet. I did tease it, so I'll give you at least that much. Do not go anywhere. Drew Garabo Live is coming up next. He's got Metallica tickets. He's got great content and much, much more with our good buddy, a cat named Mo. Diz, thank you for everything. Thank you to everybody from checking in. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. Drew, thank you very much for everything. We'll be back live tomorrow at 1 p.m. with more Senning Show.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. We are Real Raw Radio. 102.5 The Bone. Surfside Seltzer presents JP's Metallica Liquid Lunch. Join JP and The Bone Friday, June 6th as we pregame for Metallica with a live broadcast at the original Hooters in Clearwater. And if you didn't get your tickets yet, sorry for your luck, loser. Just kidding.
You hooked me up with tickets to the show.
We have tickets. JP will have 3 pair of last-minute Metallica tickets for you to win on site. So, obviously, you need to call off work. Just tell your boss JP said it's cool and head to the original Hooters in Clearwater. Meet JP, Monica, and Dizzy. Drink some Surfside Seltzers, and you might just win some Metallica tickets.
This is James from Metallica. Hey, win your tickets.
JP's Metallica Liquid Lunch with a live broadcast at the original Hooters in Clearwater. We'll see you there. 102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah and Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
In St. Pete, there's been some flooding along I-175 in both directions near the 5th and 6th Avenue North exit and entrance. There's an accident clearing along 38th Avenue North just to the west of 16th Street. Up to the north of Palm Harbor, alternate 19's been closed southbound from a bad crash between Alderman and Klosterman. Across the bay in Plant City, we have a record road blockage along State Road 60 to the west of the James Redmond Parkway. This is Jim with traffic.
With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and move when you're ready. No showings, no open houses, no stress. Call 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com and start packing.
Sitting in traffic because of an auto accident is frustrating. We should remember, though, that the person in that accident ahead, their life has changed forever. And we may be thankful it isn't us. But if it ever is, call 1-800-BURNETTI. We're ready. Offices Tampa, Lakeland, Pinellas.
At Racetrack, you'll find everything you need to get through the day ahead.
The morning hits hard when you get up early. You're obviously tired and looking surly.
Grab some made-in-store breakfast, freshly ground coffee, ice-cold drinks, delicious hot food, and snacks all in one stop.
The day is long and can feel like a grind, but you'll get fully stocked and everything will be fine.
Racetrack is here to keep you going.
An all-day haul to get you through.
Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today at 813-550-1000. That's 813-550-1000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Advent Health, we know the heart. We've mapped it, modeled it, repaired it, and rehabbed it. We've screened it, strengthened it, and saved it. We know your heart, and we know there's an unstoppable human spirit at the center of it. Learn more about whole person care and find nationally recognized heart care specialists at floridaheartexperts.com.
It's ID